Yes, hello. I am James Rowlands, and today it's the WNR480. It's Forbidden Door 2023. I'm not alone. I have a pleasure to be joined by the entire WNR team. Up first by my side for every WWE and AEW show. It is, of course, a fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How's it going, Jaxie?
Hello, New Japan, Forbidden Door, AEW. Here we go, round two. I'm excited. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bit worried because you have been destroying predictions recently. Everything you see, you're like Godzilla walking through a city. The NXT smash, WWE event smash, AEW. So, like, Forbidden Door, I'm really worried because you were so far behind, and now I think you could be in the lead.
Well, that just shows you the increasing pressure that I am on to actually retain the top spot currently in picking up wins. So, you might be worried, but, I'm really nervous. We'll see how things go today.
We shall indeed. Up next, our resident NXT expert and New Japan deity is, of course, Monty. How's it going, fella?
I'm doing good. Like you just mentioned, this is my wheelhouse. This is my time of year. Very, very happy that we're doing this again. And I'm really looking forward to not only the show tonight, but also for us to, tackle a lot of this New Japan content. And I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I'm about to say, it's crazy. Like, the Forbidden Door last year actually opened the door to us for New Japan, in all honesty, because you think about what we've done since then. Did you think it would have had the impact it has had, this event last year into this one now, and what we've kind of, the WNR focus on New Japan now as well?
I think that this was like the ideal result. I'm not going to lie and say coming into it, I thought that it would end up being not only you guys becoming fans, but like us doing full New Japan updates and stuff like that throughout the entire year. So it's been a huge honor that something I really, really think is special touched you guys in that way, and not even just you guys, like you said, the listeners who care and who really starting to keep up with New Japan now, again, since Forbidden Door. I think that is literally the ideal result for these joint shows. You want people from, not only America, but all over the world to grasp what makes New Japan special and what makes AEW special too. So, we got Japanese fans. We got broadcasts all throughout the year that only air in Japan with Japanese commentary for AEW. So it's really, really cool to see what Forbidden Door 1 kind of like what the first show did. And I think the lasting impact that it could have going forward, because, again, a lot of these guys that you're seeing on your AEW television, they had never been on American television, other than like replays for what was going on in Japan. So to have the card that we have and what we had last year, and just to see the growth of it and see you guys' interest in it grow, it's been an honor. It's been really, really cool.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, last but by no means least, it would be untrue. That I would be a liar if I would say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, Gina, light my fire. Come on, Gina, light my fire. Tried to set the night on fire. The time to hesitate is through. No time to wallow in the mire. Now try, we can only lose, and I love become a funeral pyre. Come on, Gina, light my fire. Come on, Gina, light my fire. Tried to set the night on fire. Now, I'm not sure I sang it like William Shatner, but it doesn't matter. It is, of course, Gina. How's it going, Gina? You ready to light that fire and start the prediction overhaul?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm going to light everyone's fires, or I'll try.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I know, like I said, New Japan, as we just spoke about, opened up the door last year. But, I mean, we're excited tonight. And think the position you were in last year to now, especially when it comes to New Japan, it's like night and day, surely.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't call myself an actual pro. I'm not on Monty's level at this point. But I feel so much more clued in to the New Japan side now this year than I was last year. But we have to thank Monty for that, because I am one of those new fans that has recently tuned in thanks to Monty's, recommendations and just hearing his pods and him talking about the wrestling. It was great to kind of get into something new and feel just as passionate and it's been nice to kind of come on here and then share that, like Monty said, with other sides of the world. So I still consider myself a noob when it comes to New Japan, but I feel a little bit more clued in than I was last year.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And just in case you're interested, that was Light My Fire, and that song was by The Doors. And interesting enough, a producer from the Ed Sullivan Show asked the band to change the lyric, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," to something else. As of course, a family show, you can't say higher on television. They didn't listen, and it was banned. So you could say then it was a Forbidden Doors. I'm taking that. That was a good thing. So
Yeah. Very elderly of you also, by the way. Very elderly reference.
Okay, you find, Monty, another song with fucking Doors or a connection to Forbidden Doors, sir. All right? It took me like 2 days.
I got it.
Right?
I got it.
No,
Okay.
You
Clever.
do it. You sit in your tower and you have a go at me. Why don't you create something and then send it to me? God damn. Well, anyway, we've got a huge show today with New Japan catch-up. We've got news, AEW talk, and predictions. But first, some sad news, because we did have a really sad announcement over in the UK. On May 28th, Progress Wrestling took to Twitter to confirm the news that long-term British wrestling promotion, All-Star Wrestling promoter, had died. Brian Dixon. Obviously, anybody in Britain, if you've heard the name Brian Dixon, you might not have done. If you've ever been to a Pontins or a Butlins and seen any wrestling there, any holiday camp, that was All-Star Wrestling. That's basically what they did. Started all the way back in 1970 during the golden era of wrestling up until very, very recently indeed. Legends like William Regal, who used to work the circuit as well. It is a sad time. Now, Monty, I'll ask you first, because I don't think this kind of holiday camp circuit is like prevalent in America. But, you kind of understand this is the guy who has been doing it for nearly 50 years, and the amount of wrestlers kind of walked through had such a lasting impact on British wrestling itself.
Yeah, I think I had to kind of take, like, not only what Regal said, but what others have said in the British scene about just like you said, what he did for so many careers and people who ended up being influences for a lot of the people that we enjoy that are British wrestlers now, So I kind of had to take it from that point of view. He wasn't really a name that I had heard before, but if you're, like you said, with the Regals and with some of the other, like the Taylors and all the other references that you may know from British wrestling, he was one of those names, those important figures. And like you said, you just kind of, it's always sad when we lose someone who left such an impact. You know what I mean? And I think even if I didn't know who he was, even from America, sitting from my seat over there, you can see the impact just by the way the industry kind of reacted to the news. So, I kind of had to lean on that. But yeah, man, it was still incredibly sad. But he left an impact, like you mentioned. He's impacted so many great British wrestling careers. And, that's something that at the end of the day, even though he's no longer with us, that'll live on forever, what he did for others.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt, he will be missed. Now, we've got loads of New Japan news and, of course, all the events to catch up on. But one of the emails I seem to get mostly recently is asking about the Bullet Club. There seems to be a lot of confusion between Bullet Club Gold, as we know it in AEW, compared to the original Bullet Club. David Finlay has set the record straight and said there is nothing about Bullet Club Gold that is with this Bullet Club like we're seeing in New Japan. Now, I know we're all fans of Bullet Club, but, I mean, even Jaxie, I'll ask you, because I know, we're big fans of Bullet Club and Jay White, but should they have come up with something different from them? Or, because it's just going to lead to confusion. It just feels like a watered-down version of the actual Bullet Club.
Yeah, but can you really call it a watered-down version of the Bullet Club when Jay White really is Bullet Club? That is the first sort of person that you instantly think of when it comes to Jay White. So I feel like they're in sort of a conundrum of sorts, because, did this whole thing with David Finlay in New Japan, you know, kind of taking over or taking the mantle from Jay White as Bullet Club leader or potential leader. So yeah, of course, from their point of view, that is still Bullet Club, you know. But for a lot of veterans, a lot of fans of Jay White, you see him coming to sort of more, Western promos, and you want to kind of bring that Bullet Club history with you, you know. He does still kind of represent that slightly, so I can see why they went with Bullet Club Gold. It will be sort of like, you know the difference between Marlboro and Marlboro Lights, kind of like that sort of thing. Without it, just I'm not comparing them to cigarettes. I'm just talking about the branding. But yeah, it can still be confusing because you're kind of like, okay, so are they representing Bullet Club in sort of the Western side of things? But no, in fact, really not, because Jay White was kind of kicked from the Bullet Club. So it would have made more sense for him to leave the Bullet Club name behind. So it's a catch-22, really. Some people are either going to like it or they're going to not like it and want him to branch out and maybe create a new brand of his own, you know?
Yeah, well, we're going to have a lot of answers when it comes to Bullet Club and Bullet Club Gold on this show. Start with the New Japan catch-up, April 15th, Capital Collision. Now, the New Japan shows that are in America, I've not been watching. My plan is to put them all, have a catch-up and put it as like a review at the end of the year. But if there's anything like Impact, you know what's going to happen. But still, anyway, on the show itself, Zack Sabre Jr. beat Tom Lawler to retain the TV title. In the main event, Aussie Open won more tag gold, beating Dream Team Okada and Tanahashi, and strong openweight tag team champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. They then had a second night. Of course, one night is not enough, where Lance Archer did go through for the IWGP United States title. He beat Fred Rosser. Original opponent was meant to be Juice, and Juice got involved, so Lance Archer is through. Then on to Stardom, All-Star Grand Queendom, April 23rd, 2023. In the co-main event, which was a little bit surprised, Mercedes Moné put her title on the line against Mayu, looking to bully her from the opening bell. And, of course, we had a lot of build-up with Mayu getting beaten up. Conferences leading to this matchup. But she did survive a moneymaker variation by getting her foot on the ropes. Mercedes, of course, talked some trash, hit a backstabber, opened the door for Mayu to pop up with Dragon Suplex. That tied. There were tremendous moments of desperation from each in this matchup, with Mercedes trying several pins to the row or grabbing Mayu's ankle. He's trying to go up top. But it added a lot to this match. Mayu won the title with a great-looking Dragon Suplex after 13 minutes. Then she gave a post-show, Mercedes Moné did very, very emotional. Moné looking like a star here. I mean, Gina, for you, I mean, we talked about Sasha Banks, but surely her legacy now is cemented with Moné going to Japan and having bangers like this, even though she lost. Because for me, it's great to watch a Stardom event.
Oh, for sure. She's definitely cemented herself already. And she even talked about this being a dream to be in New Japan for herself. So you know that she was just going to give it her all straight from the beginning. And yeah, she may have lost here, but it didn't damage her whatsoever. If anything, it just helped, boost herself in that division and all over, because she's brought more fans over to the New Japan scene, for starters. And they're not going to forget about her now that she's off on an injury. She's cemented herself so big already that they're not going to forget about her.
Yeah, I think without a shadow of doubt. And like we said, we're going to talk about that injury in a little bit. We've got Road to Dontaku, which was April 27th. Kushida and Knight versus Catch 2-2 for the junior tag titles. And surprisingly, Kushida and Knight getting the win in a fun match. Kevin Knight, first man from LA Dojo to win the gold. Kira and TJB have been the tag team champs for 311 days, and they've successfully defended the belt on 4 occasions. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight title was also on the line at the Road to Wrestling Dontaku event, with Hiromu Takahashi defeating Yoshinobu Kanemaru to retain the title. The Time Bomb will now advance to Wrestling Dontaku and challenge Sanada for the World Heavyweight title. This was a good match. The champ selling is on point. But Monty, I slated Knight and Kushida, and they end up winning the gold. What am I like, hey?
No, don't feel bad. Like you mentioned, 311 days. TJP and Akira were literally, if not the greatest junior tag team champions of all time. They were definitely on one of the greatest runs. So it shocked a lot of people. It was an awesome moment, though, for Kevin Knight and Kushida in a really, really good match that I genuinely enjoyed. I was shocked, too, by the finish. But, again, like you said, Kevin Knight, first one out of the LA Dojo to win a championship. You can see the flag. Like you don't have to watch Kevin Knight long to understand why he has graduated from the dojo and has, kind of just been adopted by Kushida into Hantai as a babyface, and just like the talent that he has brought. So to be able to do that and to have that type of performance and to dethrone dominant tag champions, it was an awesome moment. And then Yoshinobu Kanemaru, again, he was going for something that has rarely been done. He's going to be a junior heavyweight champion in every promotion across Japan. He's already done it in All Japan. He did it 3 times in Noah. So to be able to do that and almost take out Hiromu in a really, really competitive contest, Uncle Nobu really put on a really good performance. And again, Hiromu's just, you can't beat him. He's just unbelievably tough. And that's what he really showed in that match against Nobu, as Nobu really tried to take his leg away. But there's nothing you can do when it comes to Hiromu, because he's just literally the toughest guy that you can think of. And he's going to show it also in his next title match.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. 29th titles on the line at New Japan Pro Wrestling. Satsuma Non. I do apologise about my pronunciation. In the semi-main event, Aussie Open made their first defence of the IWG titles against Mike and Shane Hayes of TMDK. It was great to see 2 Aussie teams going at it. Brilliant tag match with the champs for taking Bisherman and the House of Torture was the Open. And in the main event, Shingo Takagi put the provisional KOPW 2023 title on the line against Taichi in a Takagi-style triad match. The winner will be the first to win 3 falls, either by pinfall, submission, stoppage, knockout, or count out. Shingo scored the first fall of the match. Taichi scored one with a quick backslide after beating the count, tying the score. He connected with a high kick and a powerbomb and Black Mephisto. Shingo failed to get to his feet, leaving Taichi with his second point and the lead. Shingo hit a pumping bonner and allowed him to score his KO point. And then lots of stuff happened as Shingo began to fade. Hiromu climbed to the apron with a towel, but chose not to use it, instead choosing to cheer Shingo on. Hiromu's support couldn't stop the inevitable, as after the stretch plum, Shingo was out. Even without the concession, the referee stepped in. Taichi, who is your new king of pro wrestling. Monty, what the fuck was this I was watching?
A 50-minute war, and I'm legit 50 minutes. Like, they absolutely beat the hell out of each other for 50 minutes. Very similar to what he did with Hanare not too long when Shingo defended that belt in that type of triad match. But this one was way longer, way more dramatic. And honestly, Taichi just proved his toughness, being able to survive that long with someone like Shingo. And like you said, he put that plum in, and honestly, he sat in that plum for about the last 10 minutes. Really, he's worked that submission to death. So you just wait. All right, Red Shoes, when are you gonna call it? Come on, Red Shoes. What the Shingo is literally dead. He looks dead almost. Please call the match. Red Shoes finally did it, but. Yeah, man, it was very, very dramatic, and that's what this KOPW is all about. The stipulations always change. The fans vote on them. Sometimes it can be 5-minute, crazy, insane, fast matches, or it can be an hour of just 2 guys beating the hell out of each other. And Taichi and Shingo have been warring over this belt for a while, so it was a really, really good, cool moment for Taichi to finally be able to get the belt that he's been fighting for a while, and it's also another big-time moment for just 5 guys, man. The 2 leaders of that group, Taichi and Sonata, are now champions, and I think that's a really good look for the newly faction, the new faction.
Yeah, I think without a shadow of a doubt, like I said, really, really strong stuff. Just 5 guys. And speaking of just 5 guys, April 30th, Sonata, Taichi, Dookie, Kanemaru versus Naito, Shingo, Bushi, and Takahashi in the elimination match. Came down to Takahashi and Sanada. Sanada climbed to top rope, set up for a moonsault. However, Hiromu hopped to his feet, pushed Sanada's butt, sent flying to the floor to be the sole survivor for his team. So the good style elimination match. Hiromu got the mic and talked to Sanada. I do like this with New Japan. Even it's now gaining momentum. He's eliminated the champion in this matchup, and now you're not sure if you lead towards Dontaku as it was. And we get to Dontaku May 3rd. We started off with Hikuleo defeating Kenta for the Strong Openweight Championship. 10 years ago, on the exact date, May 3rd, in the exact place, Bullet Club was formed. Hikuleo's task was to take the last bit of gold Bullet Club had. He'd already banished the former leader with Jay White, but when you cut the head of the snake, two grow back in its place. Hikuleo caught Kenta with a power slam and a choke slam and win the strong belt. Of course, Hikuleo's first taste of gold. But it's not the title Fred Rosser had. This is just another belt now. Jaxie, for you, when we talk about championships in New Japan, there's just too many. Come on, you got to agree with that.
I mean, whenever I watch it, I feel like there's a new championship that's actually been brought out, but it turns out that championship's been there for a while. So I must admit, I definitely still find I get lost. However, we have a good sensei. So with all of our questions, he answers straight away. So I'm glad that we can go running to Monte whenever the moment arises of being like, explain.
Yeah, true that.
Plus, James, you're asking an AEW fan about two many belts like that. Come on, man. There's belts everywhere at this point.
We get the New Japan World Television Championship, Zack Sabre Jr., Jeff Cobb, which ended in a time limit draw. Both men seem visibly frustrated with being able to close, and I guess a rematch wouldn't be unsurprising. And I'll tell you something, Monty, Shane Hayes' Zack Sabre Jr. impression was spot on. I would ask you to do an impression of me, but I'd be worried about what you would do. No.
Yeah, no, you don't want that. You don't want that one. Nope. I gotta work on it. It's not up to performative status quite yet, but give me some time. I got you.
You see how we didn't say it the other way around because the podcast would then be shut. You see that?
Yes. Yeah. Don't try it. No. Save yourself.
Well, Zach's been great already. We then have Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship. Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi defeating Strong Style, El Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, and Ren Narita. This was really, really good, pinning Narita to win the match, and a Never 6-man belt for the Dream Team. Okada was such a dick to Ren. Ishii showed that he was a team player in the end, and Okada winning gold. After the match, Shota Umino walked to the ring. He queued up an announcement for John Moxley's return at Dominion for a 6-man tag match. We don't know who the third man is. Great stuff. I mean, Gina, what are your thoughts on Okada being a dick? Because at this moment, he's just like treating these young guys like they don't even belong.
I'm not mad at it, but I think that's because I'm a bitch, and I definitely think it makes Okada's character like more intriguing. It makes him more mysterious. Like, you expect him to be this, amazing, put over wrestler that everyone just speaks so highly of. You expect him to kind of be this really nice guy as well. So to see this asshole side of him, it makes him a bit of an enigma, and you just want to watch more and see what his next move is going to be. Are you going to be nice next time? Are you going to be a cunt this time? Like, how are you going to be? So,
yeah, you to Okunta. Just
just saying, the asshole mode is working for him in my eyes. So I definitely think it will help elevate him, and probably the people that he's, in feuds with. Like, being an asshole will just kind of make people talk about those scenarios more. If you're in a match with him and he's been like that to you, people are going to be talking about you. So I think it just helps him both ways.
Yeah, I think without a shadow of a doubt. Speaking of people that are arseholes, but still got his kind of Zoolander model look, is David Finlay. He defeated Tamatonga for the Never Openweight Championship. Finlay smashed him in this matchup. There's no other way to say this. After the match, a masked man walked to the ring, back Finlay, revealing himself to be El Fantasmo, who unloaded on Philly inside the ring and out. Monty, I was surprised because Tama has, quite strong pedigree, and Finley did run through him quite easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was shocking, very, very shocking, especially the way it went. The multiple power bombs to the point where you hit Oblivion, or you hit his finish 3 or 4 times and basically let Tama up, and just was like really, really disrespectful. But he promised Tama that Tama was not going to be able to walk out of there on his own 2 feet, and they did, and he didn't. He got carried out on the stretcher. So yeah, David Finlay looks very, very badass, and I think you got to understand when David Finlay saw. He speaks English, guys. So everyone who called him off-brand Jay White, like he saw all of that, and he's trying to tell you this Bullet Club is for savages. They're for killers. None of that. Whatever Jay White had going on, all the branding, the worldwide stuff that Jay White had going on for the Bullet Club, expanding them. David Finlay cares nothing about that. He's all about winning, and he's all about hurting people. And he's really tapped in. If you know anything about Fit Finlay, he's really tapped into what his daddy was all about: tough, intimidating, and beating the hell out of people. And I love this new side of David, and him doing this to someone, like you said, like Tama, with a pedigree, someone who's been in New Japan for a very long time, and someone who seemed like they've really started to hit their stride as a champion. For him to just dominantly take him out, I really, and even though I was really happy to see ELP, I was like, I don't know who I want to come back and get revenge on him more, ELP or Tama, because again, he literally has been a bastard about it, and he's done it, everything that he said he was going to do, except, maybe win the cup. He didn't win the New Japan Cup. But other than that, he pretty much has been he's been very consistent. He's rebuilding the club and his image. We'll talk about that more later. And, I think he's really, really doing a really good job of throwing a fresh coat of paint on the Bullet Club. Because like you guys mentioned earlier, with Jay White being gone, it really needed it. And some people were tired of Jay White's run. Some people were saying it was getting stale towards the end of Jay White. So here we go. Fresh coat of paint on the Bullet Club, new leader, and they're establishing him strong with a dominant victory.
Well, as I say, the fresh coat of paint isn't a bad idea. We've seen it with the Bullet Club, and we've seen it with Sanada as well. And of course, he was in the main event, defeating Hiromu Takahashi, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Again, another finisher with Sanada. He changed his look, and then the DDT finisher that he's using now, no one's been kicking out of that. So in a match when he hits it, it is job done. After the match, yeah, exactly. Sanada's closing promo, the video package with dinosaurs, falling buildings, and exploding planets played again. A monstrous Yota. How do you pronounce his surname? Because I want to get it right.
Suji.
Yota Suji.
Yeah, T is silent.
There you go. Suji. And attacked all of J5G, leaving him lying. He speared Sanada on the floor, taunted him. And again, everybody was shocked by this. Monty, can you tell me a little bit more about him? Because he went on the excursion, if I do believe it.
Yes. So, yeah, he's been on the excursion pretty much the entire time. You guys, especially the newer people who've come in the last year, you probably didn't even get the chance to see him as a young lion. But Yota Tsuji is one of those guys, especially during the pandemic, like towards the beginning of 2019, he wasn't necessarily like a young lion that was in that Shota Umino class of people that they just knew that they were probably going to be a star. Even Ren Narita was probably a guy who was past him when he was a young lion, but he just went on excursion, went to Mexico, went to the UK, and just added all types of tools to his toolbox. And this was his fresh chance. This is his chance, fresh off excursion, to show everyone what this new version of Yota Tsuji was all about. And he's a guy who back in the day had a problem with the LA Dojo guy. And then I think just because they were LA Dojo and he wanted to represent the Japan Dojo, and ever since then, once he left, he got a chance to see what it was like to be an outsider. It just opened up a world. You really get a chance to see the benefit of New Japan's development system and how they bring up guys when you see what happened to Tsuji, because he had a different physique before he left. Now he's way bulkier, but at the same time lean, not chubby as he used to be. So again, just to see that, it's kind of like in a similar vein to what happened to Shota Umino or what happened to Ren Narita when they left and went on excursion, and they come back to Japan with this fresh gimmick, fresh everything, and he comes out. And again, by the way, it's only one other guy who really got an intro like this, and that's Okada. Okada's one of the only other people who came in and immediately challenged the world champion and got got that position. So that just shows you what New Japan thinks of what his skill set already, because his debut is not coming in and just, attacking someone in the early event of the show or something like that. He was after the main event, after that great Hiromu defense. He came in and took out just 5 guys easily. And, again, he also did something that teased the future, LIJ salute that a lot of us fans knew exactly what that meant. And, we found out later what that truly meant. But, yes, Yota Tsuji is, he's here. And, again, I think when you asked me this question about these vignettes, you're like, who is this guy? You didn't know who I was talking about. But I said, maybe Yota Tsuji. And that's what I meant. It's not that I knew that he was coming. It's just I knew that he spent time in Mexico. Usually that's what happens. You go to the UK or you go to Mexico. Sometimes you can do both like he did. And I was like, you know what? I heard, he's fighting for the title down there. He might be on his way back sooner than later. And here he is. So I'm really, really looking forward to see his development, because he's another one of those young lions I got a chance to see from the very beginning. Like literally when he was losing matches in 3 minutes to now what he is. So it's really, really cool to see what Yota Tsuji has become.
That's better than Google, isn't it? Well, an answer that was. But incredibly, this is what the incredible thing is. And Jaxie, Gina, I know your ears going to prick up. We 3 of us actually seen him wrestle, right? And it's incredible. And Gina, it was the guy that you said had nice hair. He was at Royal Quest losing to Ishii. So we actually have seen him. Yeah. How great is that?
Awesome.
Wow, that's super cool. I didn't even realize that. Thanks for reminding me.
I don't even remember that guy.
Yeah, see, there we go. We have seen him, and he's going to be challenging for the title soon. May 21st, New Japan Resurgence. We had Kenta defeating Hikuleu by count-out and winning back the strong openweight title. Sorry, Hikuleu. I guess it didn't mean a lot. Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley with Yuta and Shooter, beating Okada, Rocco Romero, and Ishii. Hiroshi Tanahashi lost to Will Ospreay to determine the number 1 contendership for the United States Heavyweight Championship. So it'll be Ospreay versus Lance Archer now. Mercedes Moné was upset by Gale for the inaugural New Japan's Women's Championship. And as you said earlier, Gina, Moné did suffer an injury. And apparently the rumours are she has signed a contract extension. So when she is fully fit, she will be back in New Japan, which can only be a good thing. I mean, like we said, we mentioned it earlier. Bit of bad news, though. After AEW have announced they've signed, it's like AEW have the kind of opposite of the Midas touch. They curse them. They signed Aussie Open, Carl Fletcher, and of course Mark Davis. But unfortunately, Mark Davis has suffered a serious injury. We're not sure when he's going to be back. Man. Maybe a couple of months. So Aussie Open, so they had to relinquish not only their strong tag team titles, but the IWGP tag team titles as well. I mean, Jaxie, that's a kick in the teeth, because Aussie Open have been one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team on the planet for this past year.
Yeah.
Royal Quest versus FTR.
I must admit, when I did read about his injury, I did felt quite gutted for him, because sort of even out of just seeing them not just in New Japan, but just seeing some of the crossover events that they've done with AEW so far. They're quite an exciting team to watch. So I hope that he's not off for long and recovers quickly, because I think Aussie Open are a formidable team that should be considered to be like strong contenders if they're ever challenging in AEW. So it's a shame to not see him sort of being able to be alongside his other partners in Forbidden Door this year.
Yeah, and also another confusing thing, because we talked about Bullet Club, but Aussie Open will still remain in New Japan. I assume they'll still be allowed to wrestle. So I don't think Aussie Open are leaving the United Empire. The United Empire still staying as is. Right, so we're going to move on. May 12th to May 20th, New Japan Pro Wrestling held the 30th edition of the Best of Super Junior tournament. The lineup was revealed that 20 wrestlers will participate in the tournament with 2 10-man blocks. 2023 will also see the debuts of my boy Speedball Mike Bailey, Leo Rush, Dan Maloney, and Kevin Knight. So A block was Hiromu Takahashi, TJP, Kushida, Taguchi, Ishimori, Sho, Dookie, Titan, Leo Rush, and Speedball Mike Bailey. B block was Francisco Akira, El Desperado Bushi, Kanamura, Yo, Eagles, Watto, Connors, Knight, and Maloney. I only watched Bailey's matches, so hopefully, Monty, you've watched a bit of the B block. I
watched everything.
You watched everything.
I watched everything.
You crazy
I
bastard.
watched everything.
How did you do it?
I love Super Juniors, bro. This is just the junior version of the G1, man. This is all for me. And it was even better this year with no warm-up tags. 10 straight just junior one-on-one matches. So, yeah, it was insane. But I enjoyed every freaking second of it. So, yeah, I got you, man.
All right, cool. So I'm going to run through the Bailey matches. So, deep breath for me. So, Mike Bailey's matches, I'm doing it because obviously he's part of Impact. His first match was against Hiromu Takahashi, 12th of May. This was great. They fought around the arena. Ultimate Weapon and Bailey pinned him clean. Yes, that's right, clean. Second match versus Show, May 13th. Show attacked with a chair early. And even with Evil interfering low, Speedball hit Ultimate Weapon and won. Third match versus TJP, May 14th. This is what the Best of Super Juniors is all about. The Flamengo driver made Mike 3 for 3. It can't last, guys. Come on, we know this. Match 4 versus Kushida, May 16th. What was I saying? It was a pleasure to watch, but Kushida got the heel hook and Bailey got his first loss. Match 5 versus Titan, May 17th, or Titan, as he's known. Bailey's chops were opening up Titan. For me, it was the best match so far, and the Flamengo got the win for my boy Mike. Match 6 versus Doki, May 18th. A cool Best of Super Junior video for the match, I should say. Like, 1, 2, 3, shake the soul. Like, you don't get that.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of catchy stuff.
It's definitely an anime opening.
Yeah,
definitely just like that. Yeah.
Great stuff. Doki upset Leo Rush this night, so that could help our boy Mike. Bailey Smile reminds me of a tax driver in Total Recall. Ultimate Weapon and Bailey went 5-1. Come on, let's go Impact. Match 7 versus Taji Ishimori, May 19th. Bailey did a Terry Funk and got sent into the seats, but he tapped out to the bone lock. Let's hope the injury doesn't affect him. Sonny Speedball's second loss. Ishimori goes level on points with him. Match 8 versus Block A's whooping boy Taguchi, 21st of May, the penultimate match. Taguchi had lost every match up until this point. Did well working the ankles, reversal of pin. They got Bailey the win. And Taguchi would beat Kushida in this last match to get his first points. And then match 9 versus Leo Rush, May 23rd. The winner list definitely going to the final, semi-final. Great matchup. Both kept a great pace and absolutely loved this. The Flamingo driver got the win for Speedball. What an excellent showing for him overall. So the final scores for the A block: Speedball Mike Bailey 7-2 on 14 points, and Titan finished in second as well. Monty, what was the B block like? Because the A block was great. Did that manage to keep a pace up with it?
Oh, definitely. I think it blended in really, really well. You had very, very strong performances by El Desperado, as always. He was a knee bandit trying to hit numero dos, which is really just a stretch muffler. He made a lot of people tap. Him and Conor, former partners, had an absolutely banger of a match against each other. Bushi did not represent LIJ really well. I'm so happy T-Tom was here. Bushi got beat pretty much most of the tournament. But, you know, he did show up towards the end and get some wins. Kevin Knight looked strong, but could not, you know, overcome Clark Connors at the very beginning. Clark Connors also beat him down with a chair after that match. So Kevin Knight kind of just was limping his way through a lot of these matches. But he gave great efforts, but could not beat Yo. Couldn't, you know, later on in the tournament, Yo, who also had a strong tournament, but lost at the very end. He took a very, very important loss there that costed him, you know, a chance at the final. You know, and then, you know, Master Wato, very, very strong performance, the strongest performance of his career. He's a guy who when he debuted was definitely did not debut with the best momentum. Like he literally botched one of his first spots, and you know, and like it just didn't set the greatest tone for who he was, especially with a lot of the vignettes saying he was the way to the Grandmaster and how he was literally going to become Grandmaster, and he had a lot of hype, but didn't really live up to it. But this year he finally figured it out, and he's just put on some of the best performances of his career. Like I really, really loved, you know, his match with Desperado that he had much later on. Because again, like I said, Desperado was coming for people's legs. Clark Connors and Dan Maloney late in the tournament, which is very, very ironic based on what they're gonna do later in this show. But Clark Connors and Dan Maloney tried to kill each other and people in the crowd. They literally did not care. They were fighting everywhere. They threw stuff at each other. It was the best count-out match, one of the best count-out matches I've ever seen, because they just tried to kill. It just felt like a fight. It wasn't a match at all. It literally just felt like two guys fighting each other. But Robbie Eagles was as solid as ever. He's literally, he literally is the reason. He's literally one of the reasons for Super Junior being what it is. If you just think about his style, he's the definition of what they do. As a matter of fact, he's also the reason for Francesco Akira. I think he helped train Francesco, and a couple other guys. So again, Robbie Eagles, solid as ever. Really, really strong block. Was it as entertaining as the A block? I mean, I guess, it's kind of tough to say, but they really had a lot of strong performances. They had Francesco Akira establishing himself as a junior heavyweight. Clark Connors also, as now at Bullet Club, very, very angry young guy. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about him being the goofy cowboy he used to be or whatever. It's insane how angry he got.
I know him. That's how I know him.
I don't know what you know him as a goofy cowboy. He's not that guy anymore. Gato has pissed that man off. I don't know what the hell happened, but he's very, very angry now. But it was fun to watch him throughout the tournament also. But, like I said, the main people towards the end there was El Desperado and, like I mentioned, Master Wato after, he overcame Robbie Eagles, a guy who absolutely hates Master Wato. But, didn't matter. Wato overcame him.
Like I said, the B block, El Desperado was 7-2, and Master Wato second on 14 points as well. So on May 26th, the semi-finals took place. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Master Wato. Both only lost respective blocks. First time they've been semis since 2014. Just had to be, didn't they, to fuck over Bailey.
Yep.
Mike left footprints on Wato. I don't think I've seen a trade of kicks on the apron like this. Ultimate Weapon couldn't keep him down, though, and it wasn't looking that good. We got the Flamingo driver, but Wato had it covered and hit an incredible German suplex to win. But again, we talk about how much wrestling. Mike Bailey, how good was he? And I've been watching him now for a couple of years on Impact. It's just too good. Just too good.
Yeah, and I think the thing is like how perfect he is for Japan. Like I know he wrestled in Japan. I think Dragon Gate, I know he wrestled in Japan in the past. I don't know if it was Dragon Gate or Noah, but I believe it was Dragon Gate. But either way it goes, his style, that Taekwondo. I took Taekwondo. He was a black belt. Never gonna act like I was any as good as him. I did, get some belts, but nowhere near black belt. Well, I think I was close, but I'm not bragging. The point is, he is awesome. He incorporates that into professional wrestling in the best way I've ever seen. So it's someone to watch him was just it was such a treat. And you can tell the people in Japan, like you mentioned, even though they loved Wato and they wanted Wato to win, it was plenty of Bailey chants throughout this tournament because of the impression that he left. So man, please, I don't know if he's ever. I know he's exclusive or I know he's under Impact. But whenever he wants to come back, the people of Japan will definitely welcome him back easily. He just fits New Japan to a T.
You're right. And then we had El Desperado versus Titan. Titan becoming the second place guy to make it to the final. They both went chair surfing. Titan went balcony diving. Despi had to tap in the end. And then May 28th, Strong Style, which was El Desperado, Ren Narita, Mike Bailey, and Shooter Umino defeated Chaos, Okada, Ishii, Tanahashi, and Taguchi. If you ever Jaxie, have you ever been in a situation where you just don't know what you've got yourself involved in? Mike Bailey did not realise the heat that Shooter and Ren Narita had with Okada, because Bailey was just like, yeah, this is going to be a fun match, and Okada's like, no, shit's getting real.
I mean, do you know what? The story of my life. I open my mouth way too much, think I can handle it, and then actually realize I've made a mistake. So I can understand that all too well from Bailey. R.I.P.
Well, without doubt. I mean, Umino threw a table at Okada, leaving Narita alone in the ring with Taguchi. It did get the win for his team, but I mean, Okada is such a prick. Shooter ignoring Taguchi and wanting Okada, with Narita wanting him as well, and Bailey just going, what's going on, guys? But the best of the Super Junior final was then the same day. Master Wato defeating Titan after hanging on. Wato hit another suplex and pinned Titan to win the best of Super Junior tournament. A great way to end things. I mean, Titan won many a match with his submission move like we saw. And we showed the scars of the hardcore wars. But the 30th tournament, 20 different names. Congratulations, Master Wato. Monty, where does this stack up with previous Best of Super Juniors?
Definitely one of the strongest Best of Super Juniors tournaments ever. Like you mentioned, when you talked about Mike Bailey and how well he did. Again, him and Hiromu, Leo versus Sho, TJP versus Teton, Despy and Kanemaru, Kushida and Doki, Hiromu and Doki. Like, everyone really just started to increase their status and just like who they are. And again, a lot of these guys you only get a chance to see. Like Teton, for example, this is pretty much a lot of times going to be his main showcase because as a junior heavyweight, most of the year on these bigger cards, you're kind of in. If you're not fighting for the junior tag team or the junior heavyweight title, you're probably just in a tag team match and you're probably only getting flashes of showing what you can do against heavyweights and other people. But Best of the Super Juniors is all about giving Super Juniors the focus, giving them the entire card to do what they do best. Hiromu has been talking for years about how he believes Super Junior wrestling can be literally right next to the main event, if not in the main event, over some heavyweight matches. And I think this tournament was a great example of why Hiromu feels that way and why he, and then again, as far as for Wato, for someone who just, again, he did not get the greatest start to his career, even in Japan, and to hear all the Wato chants, to see just how far he has come, not only in the ring, but just as a talent, it was just really, really a special moment, the fact that Wato was able to win. And like I said, Teton represented really, really well. Only the third Mexican or of Latin descent person to ever make it to Best of Super Junior fight. The first one to do it since Black Tiger Jr., a.k.a. Eddie Guerrero. So there you go. Nice little reference there. But Teton represented his country and represented himself really, really well. And they gave us a final that this tournament deserved. Absolute classic. I know you mentioned a match earlier. Teton and Mike Bailey was the match of the tournament, up to that point to you. But that final, honestly, was probably a perfect Super Junior match. It really, really was beautiful. The crowd was really into it. And by the way, they had crowd noise for the first time since 2019 in the Best Super Junior. And you could tell the people were absolutely losing their shit every night for the most part. So it was a really, really great installment. And again, very fitting for the 30th Best of the Super Junior, because this tournament has a really long, strong history. So I really love this tournament, man. It was really, really good.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, one last New Japan show then, June 4th, Dominion. We started off with the United States Heavyweight Title number one contendership match, Will Ospreay defeating Archer. The match was built around Ospreay surviving Archer's physical advantage, and it worked really well and made for a great opener. We see Ospreay hitting a series of hidden blades to get the win. And after the match, Ospreay called out Kenny Omega in Canada. I don't know how many times we have to say this, Gina, but Lance Archer in Japan is a different monster than he is in AEW. And not only that, but it's great to see Will Ospreay back, and it's great that we're going to get Will versus Kenny.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Everyone's been wanting Will and Kenny since their last bout together, It feels like it's never ending, and the feud between them feels like it's only just growing. So everyone's definitely excited for that. And and like you said, I think Will is definitely grown his own sort of, following, not just based on his standing with the United Empire group, but just on his own. He's got such a backing now that it's starting to get hard for the Kenny and Will fans, because even though we want this match so badly, it's also hard to be like, who do we want to win? Because we kind of want both.
I think that's what I'm saying. That's when it's a dream match where you're not sure, exactly which way it's going to go.
Exactly. This is where I'll happily accept some tomfoolery and they just call it, a disqualification because someone gets involved. That's when I'll accept it, because I don't know who else to choose here. So
it was going to be tough. We then had Bushi, Shingo, Naito, and Titan defeating just 4 guys, as it was. with Titan submitting Taka to win. Naito's theme is such a banger, and Kevin was forced Chris to sing the Just Five Guys theme, which again is good. It's not just me that's singing badly on wrestling shows. We then had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, Catch 2-2, beating the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida. Like I said, the title reign did not last long. Dan Maloney came out with Catch 2-2, and we see Akira getting the win on Knight and securing a tag title reign. But that wasn't the main story, because after the match, Clark Connors of Bullet Club came out and told the new champs it would be him and his new partner, Dan Maloney, standing behind Catch 2-2, attacked them, almost definitely setting up a future title challenge. For me, this was a strange choice for Bullet Club, but I see what you're saying with Clark, because he went on a fuck rant. I don't think I've heard a wrestler go on a fuck rant since maybe Scott Steiner back in 03. You know?
Yeah, no. He's angry. And again, you didn't get a chance to watch that block as much, but if you watch that block, Dan Maloney fits right in. He actually fits right in, because TJP and Akira was trying to calm him down pretty much the entire tournament. He was like a hired gun. But like I said, after their brawl, they made a lot of references to this on commentary. Kevin Kelly said it. It seemed like these two guys wouldn't be friends, but they said after that type of fight that they had, Gato took notice, and he was like, no, this is the perfect recruit. Also, I think the real reason maybe why it may have come out of nowhere, I think the real thing is Taiji Ishimori, unfortunately, got us there, did not get a chance to even finish the tournament. Who knows? He could have played a factor in the actual final, because we know Ishimori is actually a big deal in the junior heavyweight division. He's one of those guys right next to Hiromu, and he got hurt in his match with Hiromu, which was a great match before he got hurt. And I think maybe Clark Connor's original partner could have been Taiji Ishimori, and they pulled the audible here and thought Dan Maloney, since he fits so well, because he's not only is he British, but and it's funny that Will Ospreay really fought to get him in here. He turned on him so fast. So that's another thing that really makes it funny. Like, Will got him his job, and he turned on him before the tour could even end. But
they kept saying on commentary, he stayed. He's not taking his flight because he wants to take this team to the ring. Yeah,
right.
Beat the shit out of them. Like.
Exactly. That's why he stayed. But yeah, it was awesome. Awesome little turn, and it really, I saw some people also confused online, but it made a lot of sense, especially if you got a chance to grasp Maloney in the Super Junior tournament. And again, he fits really, really well with the Bullet Club. I can't lie. So I really don't have a problem with it. He's a guy who cut 30 pounds just to be a Super Junior. He is a very, very strong guy and an awesome wrestler. So, yeah, man, he's going to be really, really good with Clark Connors. Two angry foreigners just causing havoc.
Well, I'll tell you something, the crowd reacted big.
They hated it.
The Great Wall Show back then, they really did this. If there's one thing New Japan are the best at, it's the junior tag division. And I even know the story of Kushida, because even in the Super Juniors, Best Super Juniors, I think he won twice.
No, he was horrible. He was horrible.
And again, losing the titles here, I know it's going to pay off.
Exactly.
That's
right.
good stuff.
Exactly.
We then had the World Television Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Jeff Cobb. Another fantastic Zack Sabre Jr. World TV title. Gina, it's just a shame that you didn't move for him and you just pushed him aside. Just think about where we could be now with Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, the thing is, he beat Jeff.
I don't have any personal beef with Zack Sabre Jr. I just don't warm to him. That's all. But he still puts on a good match, and I don't condone that. So, I mean, if he don't like me, then that's on him. But to be fair, that's a lot of people. So, oh well.
Well, Zack managed to. I'm sure it's not, by the way. We see a Tour of the Islands reversed by Zack Sabre Jr. But honestly, like, how good is
so
that?
Smart?
I mean, Monty, he has to be in the conversation, doesn't he, for the best wrestlers?
Oh, yes. Honestly, as happy as I am, I'm very happy we're getting Danielson and Okada. But you cannot tell me that Zack and Danielson would not just cook. But again, hopefully we'll get that paid off at some point. Maybe they didn't want to, because Zack is a champion right now. You don't want to take a chance with Danielson, make it be obvious that he probably wouldn't win. But I don't know, who knows? You never know in that case. It's also a dream match, and that's because of the skill that Zack Sabre Jr. possessed. And in that first match, he really got lucky in that time limit draw, man. He got cycloned by Jeff Cobb, and he flew out of the ring, and it bought us some time, and he ran out of time. But Zach, being who he is, very, very disappointed in winning or basically retaining that way in a draw, came back, and he had the game plan perfect. A great reversal from Toward the Islands to trap the big fella, and get that pin. Like he said, he's not the strongest. He's nowhere near as handsome as Jeff Cobb. But he has mental techers. Very, very smart guy.
I was going to say, Zach's 10th defense, and as he said, Cobb is attractive as well, and as good as always. He makes the title seem important. And then we had the IWGP Tag Team Championships, the vacated titles on the line, with Bishamon defeating United Empire with Aaron Hanare and Greater Khan, with the House of Torture Evil and Takahashi. Bishamon, as always, put on a great performance here. The House of Torture stuff, did it annoy me? Yes, but I can understand.
This is what they do, man.
why they do it for, yeah. After the match, Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd rushed the new champions while wearing Bullet Club colours. Now, Alex
War Dogs.
He's got the greatest mustache in professional wrestling. Used to be strong, but his eyes, he makes Dexter Lumis seem like a fucking normal guy. That's all I can, it was just, he didn't need to do anything. Like, again, we had Kid go on a fuck rant because this is a new Bullet Club.
He's also very angry for some reason.
English and
very
angry.
He's been angry for years, though, at this point.
British are angry people, as we can tell. I mean, this is just crazy, isn't it? We don't need the strong titles here. But, Bishman winning, setting up Bullet Club. I mean, what are your thoughts, Monty, of this new Bullet Club now? We've just seen basically four members now. Alex Coughlin, Dan Maloney, of course, Gabriel Kidd, and Clark Connors. This is a new Bullet Club. And as Jaxie said, is this going to seem less slam because we haven't kind of got the star power of previous incarnations?
Mm-hmm. I think at first, especially for newer fans who have no clue who these guys are, you don't understand. The night it happened, a lot of casuals popped in. It was like, who the hell are these guys? It's just like, I get it. Watching, if you know about the LA dojo and what's been going on over the last 4 years, and hell, even if you know New Japan Strong, like James.
Oh yeah,
you know all
what's going to happen.
You
I didn't know you were going to join Bullet Club.
Exactly. I told you they would debut in Japan. I just tell you how. Again, Finlay has been very, very adamant. He wants killers, and everyone is so far is giving off that type of energy that they are here to destroy and take over New Japan. And honestly, I agree. It's going to suffer with star power, especially right at first. But I believe again, back to my thing about fresh coat of paint, freshening up the club. Now you have a new leader. You have basically a new body, new tag team, new heavyweight tag team, new junior heavyweight tag team. And then when Taiji Ishimori is back, because it's not going to be a major time off out here for his injury, he'll be your junior heavyweight ace, someone that you can put there. So again, they're building and formulating the club back from where it was, because they lost a lot. They lost Anderson and Gallo. They lost, what happened with Tama and his brother, and with Leo gone, and of course they've kicked the leader out. I think that's the biggest thing about that Bullet Club Gold rebrand, is that it wouldn't hurt me as much if I knew if Jay White could still compete for New Japan. It would be like, I get it. But it's like, why are we doing this when he can't even do anything in Japan? So why are we still stoking the something he was doing in Japan? Let him do something fresh and new. But hey, give it time. I'm pretty sure Jay White will kill it because he's awesome. And but this is brand new. I think you got to give everyone time. They're going to have to establish themselves not only in Japan, but also to get worldwide fame, because a lot of people who've been watching Strong know who they are. A lot of people who've been going to these New Japan of USA events know who they are. But do the world have a clue who these guys are yet? No. And that's what it's time to do. It's time to put this into action. This was just letting you know who this is just your introduction. Now it's time to see what they do from this point on. Prince Devitt, when he started the original Bullet Club back in the day with Fale, Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson, they had to come. Not only did they take over shows and just full-fledged Prince David Finn Balor, by the way, if you don't know, when they did that, they had to not only come together, but they had to establish themselves. They did a lot of cheating. They did a lot of things that you heard them cry out. The fans really, really hated them. And I think that's what Bullet Club is trying to get back to. As entertaining as some of the ELP and Jay Whites and all the other moving parts that they've had in the last year or so has been, they got away from their identity. Their identity are, hard-nosed killers who, basically murder for hire, mercenaries. And I think that's basically what they're trying to get back to. And I think David Finlay has really did a really good job of trying to give us a brand new Bullet Club. Some people are rejecting it, but I think it just needs time and we'll see exactly, will this 10th year anniversary incarnation of the Bullet Club, will this be anywhere near as big as the last incarnation, and hell, even the incarnations before that?
I mean, that's the question, isn't it? But as you spoke about, David Finlay, the leader, then defeated El Phantasmo for retaining the Never Openweight title. And again, really, really strong from Finlay. I'm interested to see what both do here, because ELP
need friends.
Well, he's been a face for about, a year now, so that's not an issue. It's like you said, he needs
exactly.
a bit of backup. But again,
exactly.
Good match. And then the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Master Waso, winner of the Best of Super Juniors, coming up short against Hiromu Takahashi. It's just a shame, because, again, what's crazy about it, and listen to the crowd, is they wanted a total change. And I know Hiromu, like I said, it's loved, but they wanted Master Wato. He can't win the big one. This what I thought was really interesting. Not many times you see Hiromu hit a time bomb and the crowd kind of disappointed.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's 100% true. But it's only this is another chapter in the story of Wato. I promise you, maybe even by next year or in the future, you will see Master Wato at the top of this junior division. I think this is just priming him for that moment. New Japan has done this plenty of time. My boy Naito has been on the losing end of moments like that, where you just felt like this is his time. He's finally going to beat Okada, then boot Rainmaker. Nope, not time. So sometimes they do that, even if it feels like the moment is there. But Hiromu is still on an all-time run himself. He's trying to catch 12 defenses. I think he's at like 6 or something like that, 5 right now. So yeah, he has a road to go. We'll see if he'll actually do it. But you're 100% right. Osaka wanted Wato.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. We then had another open weight 6-man tag team championship. Chaos, Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. And they defeated the Black Belt Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Shota Umino. This was Moxley's first match in Japan since February 2020. This was Claudio's first match ever in Japan. And seeing him swing Okada was one of the craziest things I never thought. In wrestling,
they loved it too.
Two worlds collide as Okada goes around. Umino tried to take advantage after a triple powerbomb, couldn't get the job done, and Okada's like, do you know what? Enough shit now. Enough of this. Yeah. We like to talk about. He's not going to go for the money clip. He's not going to fuck around anymore. He's just like, look, shooter, fucking there you go, Rainmaker. I've had enough of you. And then Moxley teased Bryan Danielson with the video package playing with it in. Danielson is challenging Okada at the Forbidden Door. Unbelievable. I mean, Jaxie, we've got the announcement. We've got the dream match that we wanted. Danielson versus Okada. That should be incredible in its own right.
I mean, I think this is probably the most anticipated match that no one actually thought of at the beginning of this year. If you think about it, everyone was just rooting to have Bryan Danielson face Zack Sabre Jr. So, I think a lot of people, including myself, really thought, okay, well, they'll do that this year, to be getting Okada versus Danielson. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for to give to a wrestling fan. It's like Christmas, Yeah,
without a shot. Like I said, the Will Ospreay Kenny Omega match was enough. This was a kind of cherry on the top as well. Really, really, really fun. to know that we've got this coming up. We still had one match left as well at Dominion, which was Sanada defeating Yota Tsuji for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, retaining as it was. Yota looked really, really good in this match, and even with the spear. I know a lot of people hit the spear, but his actually looks quite impactful. But Sanada fucked around too much and got the job.
He played American football.
The thing I like about Sanada as well was that he knew he was in the fight, and he hyped up Yota afterwards, and then said at the end as well he would win the G1, pick who he faces at Wrestle Kingdom. Can you get any more facey than that?
Yeah, I love it. It's just everything about Sanada is different now, man. That attitude. We'll talk about it when we get to when he showed up on Rampage. Just everything about him, the way he carries himself, man. He's an awesome just figurehead and someone to have in that spot. If you don't have Okada, honestly, Sanada and the way he's been carrying himself now is really probably the next best thing at this point. He's showing it in this run. I can't wait to see what else he does. I can't wait to see his G1 performance. And like you said, Yota Tsuji, man, some of the moves he was pulling off, you could just say, it's just stuff. Like I said, this is stuff that he never even scratched the surface of when he was a young lion. Like you never even saw a tease. Maybe you saw the spear, but the spear didn't look anything like it looked against Sonata. You know what I'm saying? And like the dives he was doing, the super Spanish fly that he did. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I know Naito told him that he has to prove, like he's giving him an opportunity to prove that he's ready to be in LIJ. And I honestly, even though they didn't carry him out, I know 100% that match proved it, that he is definitely going to be a very, very vital member of LIJ going forward. And I cannot wait to see his G1 performance, because that's what you do when you're the world champion. You put over the next guy and you show not only what he can do against you, but now you got people excited to see what he's going to do going forward. And will we ever get? He said he's open to wrestling Tsuji many times again, and I think that's like you said, something that makes Sonata an awesome champion. And again, this was just a really, really, really fun match. It didn't go too long. It was very, very, very just again nonstop action. I really enjoyed it, and it was a great performance by both guys.
Yeah, really, really fun main event. And then June 9th was the Altogether Again, the New Japan AJPW and Noah crossover. The main event being Okada, Keno, and Yuma. Oh my God. Ayuyagi defeat Hiroshi Tanahashi, Keita Gimi, and Kento Miyahara. So that's it. We're caught up with New Japan now. The next big thing, and what we will be reviewing on the podcast as well, is, of course, the G1 Climax 33. Then I'm not going to run through all the list because we've done Best of Super Juniors. What I was upset about with the blocks, Monty, was the fact that Okada was kept away from Shooter and Ren Narita, and, of course, Kiyomiya, who is from Noah, had all the problem with this year. Why?
I do think it's a strong tease that you may be seeing these guys later in the block final. I think that's one reason why I agree. It doesn't. Initially, I didn't really understand or really didn't like it. But honestly, when it comes to Shota and Ren Narita, they've already attempted to do what Okada did. Okada came right in first night, challenged Tanahashi, and beat him. And they've done that and failed. They've tried to come right at Okada, and they've been dropped. Same thing with Kaito. I wouldn't be surprised if you find out later that Okada asked to be in a different block away from them guys, because honestly, he's done. He's over all of them. I know they may not be over him, but he is over them at this point, especially when the title is his focus. Now, I do agree, though. It would have been nice to see them all in the same block so they can get a guaranteed match against Okada. But who knows? If Kaito performs and represents Noah well, he can meet them in the block finals. We'll see.
The reaction from the crowd for that announcement meant, that's going to be special.
Right.
But one thing I've taken away is Shooter or Shota, we're going to call him Umino, is the star, is the guy that I can see him facing Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. He's the one. Don't get me wrong, I like Ren Narita, I like a few, but he is the guy who's going to be the next one. I can just, for me anyway, that's what I feel. But we're going to start now with AEW notes. Luckily, we're going to do it quickly because we've still got predictions to do as well. We're going to start 31st of May and the 7th of June with really Yuta continues momentum, pinning Bandido in a fun 6-man matchup. Kenny Omega was in Canada. Bullet Club Gold have a date with FTR. Weird, though. I mean, Jaxie, who would you rather be right now? Jay White or David Finlay? Because it feels like they have traded places. One of them did use the team with Juice and go for tag team titles, and the other one was the leader of a Bullet Club. Who would you rather be right now?
I mean, it's difficult to say, really, because if you're someone like Jay White who's been with the company for years, maybe you want to be teamed up with Juice Robinson in a Western promotion now, doing something a lot different to what he has been doing over the past few years. Whereas for David Finlay, this is something completely new, taking over a faction as prominent as the Bullet Club. So, I mean, I don't think that you could lose either way if you were either David Finlay or Jay White.
Yeah, I think that's the correct. I think that is the correct answer. I'd be more Finlay, but then again, I've always gone against it.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, Gina, what about you?
Sorry, repeat that.
Jay White or David Finlay? Who would you rather be right now?
That's a really difficult question.
We ask the hard questions here. God damn it.
I don't know, because I do feel like David Finlay is just hitting off on his stride, but I think I have a preference for Jay White because I know him better, so I'm just going to say Jay.
Well, let's just see how much of a fan you are, Jay
All
White,
right.
as we go through this. Go through the results of Collision and Dynamite. Don Callis got near Dominic hate with Takeshita, saying you destroyed my family and may lost a nephew, but I gained a son. He's better than Okada, and he's better than Kenny Omega. Kenny, you destroyed my family, and I'm going to build a new one. My new family is going to cut the elite out of all elite wrestling. That's what we need. More feuds for Kenny. It's what it feels like at this moment. You know what I mean? Like, Jackson, you must feel this. Kenny's not feuding with enough people. You need to have about 8 or 9.
They've decided that Kenny can handle having multiple feuds in different companies and just deal with them all at the same time, because he's the cleaner. He's Superman. He can do it all.
We see Britt and Adam Cole beat Jericho and Saraya. Orange Cassidy defended versus Swerve in a banger. MJF was confronted by Adam Cole. Jay White beat Ricky Starks. Still a fan, Gina? Still a fan?
I am, but they're just burying him horribly.
Well, let's get to Collision before that. The Blackpool Combat Club competed on both Dynamites. June 14th. Adam Cole and MJF went to a 30-minute...
Shut up with your snickering.
Adam Cole and
I can literally hear it.
Went to a 30-minute time limit to start the show. Again, this was really, really good. I didn't like the referee, because usually when they count, they don't put their arm up in the air and go 1 little second before they start the count. But again, really, really well timed. Sonata will defend his IWGP World Heavyweight title in an open challenge. Jack Perry accepted. It's not an open challenge then, is it? Because we know the match. You see, this is what annoys me about open challenges.
Was it open long?
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. It was a fucking open challenge then. It was I want a match. Yes, it's okay. I'm going to have a match. Anyway, Renee tells MJF he has a match at Forbidden Door versus Tanahashi, because why not? We get Zack Sabre Jr. interrupting Orange Bollocks. Please give us title versus title. Bucks and Page beat Blackpool Combat Club. And then all hell went loose. I don't know what happened at the end of this Impact. We see Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Impact my mind. Dynamite. Because we got Moxley. This felt like an old Impact of what happened afterwards. Eddie Kingston returning, facing off with Moxley. Matt Jackson was there. Takeshita showed up. Omega arrived, and then finally Will Ospreay attacking Omega. Jaxie, can you get too much sometimes? It says there's too much booked into that.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't keep up. My eyes couldn't keep up because they didn't kind of give us a second to register who was coming out, who they were beating up, who we should be getting excited for. So, there's me sort of reacting, and then a moment later we were getting something completely different, and my brain couldn't catch up. in time. So by the time I actually registered Will Ospreay was out, the credits were up, and it was finished, and I was just kind of like, oh wait, what just happened? Let me just rewind this, because I have no idea who the fuck just got involved.
That's what I'm saying. You have to go back and okay, 1, 2. Oh right, okay, right, yeah, makes sense. And then on Rampage.
Imagine if you're a new fan and you don't know who anyone is.
Yeah. Well, at least you don't watch Rampage.
I mean, it's a shame that not everyone has a Monty,
That is true. He is our Google, basically, when it comes to this stuff. Rampage, Zack Sabre Jr. defended his New Japan Strong title versus Action Andretti. Rampage, June 9th, the Fatal 4-Way match with Sky Blue beating Britt Baker, Mercedes Martinez, and Nyla Rose. Jeff Cobb, Carl Fletcher, and Will Ospreay beat Best Friends. We see Aubrey Edwards win her first match. Yes, I did say that. Teaming with Mark and Daddy Briscoe, beating Lethal, Double J, and Karen. Yeah, I had to watch that. And then the first ever collision, everybody. Yeah. June 17th. We get Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness on commentary. Monty.
That was awesome.
Make us watch it. They're like, who's their favorite commentators?
I agree 100%. They was like, oh, we got Nigel and Kevin Kelly. Like, man, do you understand how fresh that felt, man? No offense to Excalibur and the crew and Shivani, JR. Like, of course, come on, we get it, but it felt good to get that fresh commentary team. It just felt like an entire. Even though we knew it was AEW, it felt different.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree with Monty on that. It was just a real surprise to actually hear Kevin Kelly and what's his name?
What's his name? Nigel McGuinness, goddamn you.
Sorry, I was going to call him, you know what it was? I was about to call him Patrick McGuinness, and I don't know why I was about to say
Paddy
that.
McGuinness, close enough.
But yeah, I think there's just something so nice when it first opened up, you actually expected to hear Excalibur or Taz or Chris Jericho or Tony Schiavone. It was just a nice breath of fresh air to get a different commentary team, especially for us Brits. So just hearing them on commentary is quite nice.
Without a shadow of a doubt, we see CM Punk starting the show with a red bag and boots round his neck. Now, again, we don't know what was in the red bag, but I thought for a second it might be like dead kittens and puppies, and you throw them at the crowd and be a heel turn, and that's what Punk's about. But no, he didn't.
Not in Chicago.
Not in Chicago.
They would cheer that, I think. They would cheer that. Even dead animals. They would be like, CM Punk.
Punk made numerous not so subtle references to the Elite throughout his promo, but it was classic Punk. And if he and the Elite can do business, there is so much money. If not, what a waste. The line about counterfeit bucks was classic Punk. Gina, I know we talk about CM Punk's leave and return almost monthly, but I mean, what do you think of this one? Because surely this time CM Punk can't fuck it up.
I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. Obviously, I'm happy he's back, but I don't know. There was a slight part of me, maybe like 20% of me, that found it a little bit distasteful, and I don't know. Like, I didn't really want Collision to be like a fuck the Elite show, and just all haters be on the Collision show. So I didn't really want Punk to antagonize it even further and encourage it, but obviously he gave a fire promo and the crowd loved him, with it being his hometown too. So it definitely got them, pumped up for the new show. I just don't know if some of it was a bit bad taste and maybe could have done without. So I'm a little conflicted about his return.
Yeah, I tell you another thing that pissed me off. Nothing to do with CM Punk. What happened next with Luchasaurus winning the TNT title and Christian celebrating like he won it. So if they let Christian win it, then I would have been right. So I was right in a way for Double or Nothing, but they still fucked me over. I don't know how. This thing happened.
Luchasaurus looked like an idiot just standing there like, okay, yeah, it's his belt. Let me hold this guy over my shoulders, even though I won the belt.
Oh, no, that was unbelievable. We did have Buddy and Andrade putting on a banger. Weirdly enough, Buddy was introduced as Buddy Murphy, which kind of felt like, did I hear that?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that the first time they've actually said Buddy Murphy on AEW, or have they done it before and I missed it?
No, that was an accident. It was an accident, I think.
Oh my God. How embarrassing.
I know, first episode. House of Black attacked after. Fun fact, though, Aleister Black, as he was known, beat Andrade to win his first NXT title. Huh?
Classic feud.
I know. It seems so long ago now. Miro destroyed Tony Nese. I tell you what, since Tony Nese went for AEW, that paid off for him.
Right. He's just doing so much better.
Oh my God. He's flying. Punk and FTR versus Jay White, Juice, and Joe. It's the main event. Before that, we had the Outcasts losing to Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. I suppose different shows, same placement as it was. As for the main event,
very much.
We get CMFTR, as they are known, wearing pink and black gear to honour their idol Brett. Maybe do it in Canada, but again, what do I know? The faces won. But what do I want to talk about? In all seriousness, it is poor JR joining them for the main event. We've already talked about Kelly. Now, Monty, I'm never going to say, after doing this pod for nearly 10 years, sometimes people just need to walk away. But he had a fall earlier in the day before Collision. Tony Khan should have just said, "You're not ready for TV tonight." Go
home, or just sit back here. Yeah, right. It's crazy to me that they let him, go out there in that state. I'm pretty sure maybe someone suggested it, and he just said, "No, I'm good. I can do it." And he's a legend, so you give him the benefit. But yeah, man, it was rough. It was really, really rough, and he immediately had to apologize, and after that, because he even knew that it was tough, man. It was really tough to hear. When you think about, like you said, just one of, if not the greatest voice in professional wrestling of all time, he's one of them. And it's just, honestly, as the years have gone by, and he's slowly but surely starting to take steps away from doing this as much as he was. But yeah, man, I never say that too, because I respect JR, and I grew up. That's the voice I grew up hearing. I can't think about wrestling honestly without the voice of JR. So it really, really is tough. It's just kind of like with the conversation we had about Jeff Hardy, and just like, seeing him sometimes slip or something, it's just like, it hurts a little bit extra because you grew up watching these guys be superheroes and do what they do for so long. But I wish JR nothing but the best, though. Hopefully he can get home, refresh himself. Maybe if he do decide to come back later, the time off will be, it'll do him good, and maybe everything will work out for him. But it really was tough to hear him on the first episode of Collision.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me now, I mean, like I said, I've trouble with my dad falling over. I wouldn't put him on live TV after it happened. But maybe for JR now, it is just maybe all in if he's ready. One last big event, just maybe the main event as a kind of like send off as well, because like you said, we don't want him to turn into Jeff Hardy, where he's jobbing out to the guns on Dynamite. You see, we can't be having that. The Hardys did lose. I mean, Gina, what the fuck was this? The Hardys are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and the Guns are the first team to beat them in AEW.
I'm so angry that they have that notch on their belt. I don't know, because it's especially tough for me because, again, I grew up and got into wrestling thanks to the Hardy Boys. And I've actually been rewatching some old Raw is War era wrestling, and it's just hard because, again, I'm watching the Hardys at their peak, and they are just so great. And then I see them lose for the first time, and to the Guns. I don't know. It's kind of left me speechless a bit, because I'm not trying to condone the Gun Boys, but I wouldn't have given them this first win over the Hardys. I really wouldn't. There's, out of all the amazing tag teams you have in AEW, I don't think that the Guns deserved it. I think there were other teams that deserved that.
The thing is, I heard as well, someone said to me, that the Guns, the equivalent would be Pretty Deadly. And I say to you, whoever an email, fuck you, sir. Monty, bullshit. You know that's bullshit.
It gotta just be the outfit. It gotta just be like the entrance
that's what
gear.
I'm fucking saying. The fucking assholes, you know, like assholes.
It's the only thing they have in common.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you. Like one of the greatest tag teams of our generation. And Pretty Deadly. No,
yeah, man.
No, well,
if you don't like the guns, you're gonna have to accept it. You're gonna.
No,
if you don't like the guns, you're gonna have to accept it at this point, man. Because they won't. They're not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like it.
No. Starks, FTR, and Punk cleared the ring before the Best of the World issued a challenge. He said, "I'm a Collision guy. I'm not even supposed to be here." And because of that, Kenny Omega wasn't. So that's going to work out
right.
well. That's gonna
None of the elite were exactly.
I can't wait for backstage at Forbidden Door. Part of me doesn't want to watch Forbidden Door. I want to get a camera in the locker rooms. Just the tents, getting something to eat,
Also, him saying that contradicted Tony because Tony was like, "No, it's no brand split. We're doing, you know what I'm saying? Everyone can go anywhere." But okay, I guarantee we probably won't ever see the elite on Collision.
Well, one thing we do see on Dynamite, which I couldn't believe, was a concession stand brawl. Now, as you guys said to me, I'm old, but I'm not that old. This was big in the 70s and 80s, right? With the King and I think the Honky Tonk Man back in the day. Not now. Not with Mark Briscoe beating Jeff Jarrett, and if that went along with it. Let's just move on quickly. Jericho, Suzuki, Guevara defeated Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox. I mean, that win for Action Andretti versus Jericho really has paid off. We get the Suzuki Gods. They're challenging Darby Allin. If you're anyone on the team, you can find a part. Face us, Jericho said to Renee Paquette. The Elite revealed Eddie Kingston will be one of the men team with Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks to battle Blackpool Combat Club, which will be Mox, Claudio, Yuta, Takeshita, and a partner of their choosing. Jaxie, why did they just cram all these match announcements in? Like, didn't they have time over like a month or 2 months?
Yeah, at least a month.
Yeah. This was something that both Gina and I brought up just kind of in conversation, just with regards to, we ended up watching a lot of these shows kind of in one sitting because we weren't able to kind of watch live or catch up this week. So everything's just, for me, it just felt like it was all rushed together. Like, shit, we've got to announce this quick, just push this together real quick and just chuck a promo out there to say, oh, this is the reason why. It just felt like they've had plenty of time with the build-up that they really could have already announced these before they even had like confirmed people. Like we've seen that happen. Where they're like, you know what, we'll come back to you next week and announce someone who's joining us. But just give it to us all spread out. Don't throw it all at once at us because I'm trying really hard to keep up, and even being an AEW veteran, I'm finding it hard to keep up.
Honestly, like they were just like you said, throwing shit at a wall and seeing what stuck on this Dynamite. We had Adam Cole promo, predicted interrupted by MJF. We then turned into WCW in 1994 for some reason. We get a tag team eliminator tournament with kooky partners. It didn't work then. Now, give us fucking tag teams. How many tag teams have AEW got? I shouldn't get annoyed, but honest to goodness, it's so.
It made
annoying.
me think: are they short on teams now? Like that's what it's. That's really made me wonder. I'm like, damn, they must be short on teams now. Why are we doing this?
Well, Adam Cole persuaded the Devil to battle Hiroshi Tanahashi at the Forbidden Door. Daniel Garcia and Jr. beat Orange Cassidy and Shibata in a great matchup. Then, again, turned into a fatal four-way at Forbidden Door.
Random.
We'll just give us Cassidy and Sabre. That's going to be a great match in itself.
Yes.
But, oh well. Chris Statlander retained a TBS title versus Taya Valkyrie. It was announced after Tony Storm would face Willow Nightingale in a champ versus champ match because why not? Kingston revealed Ishii and him, Young Bucks and Adam Page at Forbidden Door. Okada made the same for Ishii, coming face-to-face with Danielson at a Sunday's Dream match. They stared each other down to close out the show, but not before the biggest star New Japan laid out Yuta with a Rainmaker. Jaxie, I know you love Okada, but look at the response he gets. That shows how big a star he actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, also just kind of bringing up the fact that I'm pretty sure it was on that same show that Excalibur announced that was going to be the main event of Forbidden Door. Now, don't quote me on that. I don't know whether or not that was a mistake and he wasn't supposed to say it. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but I mean, that's just telling you something that if they are putting that as the main event over Tanahashi versus MJF, we'll go into my thoughts really on Tanahashi challenging for the AEW belt again soon. But yeah, this felt like a pretty big deal. Like the crowd went absolutely insane as soon as they heard his music drop, you know? And you just got to think to yourself, like, this man is generating so much popularity, and not just in New Japan, but over here in the UK, over in the US as well. This guy is going to continue going big, and he's gonna make it with these different sort of characters he can play. He's now gone into this heel mode, and it still works for him. I can only imagine that, like, we're just going to see more and more out of Okada, and I'm very excited by that.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Then Rampage, June 23rd. Swerve Strickland teamed up with Red Ospreay. Oh, fucking what a team that was. With Cole Fletcher and Jeff Cobb to beat Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, Yo, and Rocky Romero. Adam Cole came out to deliver a promo, but before he could speak, MJF revealed that Cole had a match in Forbidden Door against Tom. Now, I love Filthy Tom, but how random was this?
Very random.
It's like,
no
who
clue.
can we have lose to Adam Cole? Who we got on the roster? You'll do.
I literally heard that, and I just said to Jaxie, the homeless one, the homeless one. Why? Like, I was just so shocked.
To myself, I thought, no, the stinky one, not the homeless one, the stinky one.
Yes, he has he's just filthy.
Yeah.
And stinky. He looks like he smells.
Yeah.
Filthy.
Let's hope they don't stink the place up when they do face each other. Anna Jay lost to Sky Blue in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. What do you mean you didn't know the Owen Hart Cup tournament had started? Well, this is the first round match. How dare you?
Wow.
And then Jungle Boy beat Doki with Perry winning with Sanada's skull end finisher. But the IWGP Heavyweight Champion showed up to confront Perry and show him what it looks like to be an adult. And not only just that, but champion. Yeah. How fucking cool did Sanada look? The way he carried himself was a true champion compared to someone who's not cleaned their room. You know?
Yes, like he looked like the man. You know what I mean? Top shelf suit, the shades. He looked great, and not to mention, right before that, I know maybe it had something to do with being in Chicago, but Jungle Boy got shown up by Doki. Like Doki was getting. They were booing Jungle Boy by the end of his match, and those people were chanting Dookie, Dookie, Dookie. They was really into Doki, man. So I was so proud. I was like, yes,
like they were all behind Dookie. That was really shocking for me. I didn't realize that they would actually turn on.
I think Jungle Boy was shocked.
Yeah, even he afterwards was like, "Oh, now you fucking do your arms to my song." Like, how dare you?
Right, you want to sing now? Sure.
And if there wasn't enough wrestling at the weekend as well, we had Collision June 24th with Naito announced as Sting and Darby's partner. Now, Monty, I know how big a fan you are, and even though he had nothing to do with this and no connection, I'm happy.
Nothing to do with it. The only connection he has is that he beat Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom a few years back. That's pretty much it. That's it. That's all he got. That's all you have. Yeah, he beat Jericho back in the day. I guess Sting is an honorary LIJ member 2 years in a row. Him and Darby teams up with an LIJ member, so I guess that's another connection. But yeah, man, it was very awesome. I'm very happy that he's at least getting a chance to be on Forbidden Door. Very disappointed he couldn't be on the first one. So even if it is thrown together and it doesn't make a lot of sense, I'm happy to see him. So I can't wait to see how it goes.
That's good out. We then had Hiroshi Tanahashi beating Swerve in a really good match, but Swerve did well to make the finish happen. Towards the end, we had Brody King and Andrade ended when Buddy, don't call him Murphy, attacked. In another first-round match for the women's bracket of the Owen Hart tournament, Willow Nightingale defeated Nyla Rose. The Outcasts surrounded the ring, but Sky Blue frightened them off with a chair. We then have Hobbs squash the Prophet. And in the main event, Jay White, the Jews and the Guns beat CMFTR and Ricky, who wet the pin. You're a fan, Gina, are you, of Jay White?
Honestly, that just broke me. Like, I kind of expected the face team to win it, so I was shocked that they lost for starters. And then you used
you got to admit that was a hot finish there.
It was a hot finish, but you use my man for the roll-up pin. Like, really? To be honest, like I just feel really gutted for Ricky in a way, because I feel like he was on such a hot streak and they just kind of buried it straight away, and it's just damaged him in a way.
I don't know why, but I feel like I'd like to argue this point, though. I felt like Ricky looked very strong at the end of that match. I mean, he was giving out spears here and there. If Juice hadn't come and just, like, hit him and knocked him in the head, then, like, you know, he could have actually gotten one up on Jay White. I don't actually think it made him look weak at all. The match itself was lit, and I think that by the end of it, yes, he might have been rolled up pinned, but I actually think that he came out looking really good and, like, just really on the same caliber as Juice and Jay White, and possibly just getting even better, you know, just even having him in the same sort of match tagged with like the likes of FTR and CM Punk means that they do see something in Ricky Starks. I'm just hoping that like they keep with this momentum, because when he got that hot tag, he was pretty hot. So, you know, yes, it didn't work out, but like this is what heels do. So it'd be really good to kind of just see how see how he can continue faring against people in Collision, especially if Collision is going to maybe feature him more than other shows.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's going to be interesting as well is the reaction CM Punk got. You know, we talk about not being anymore. Like, Punk was like the John Cena in that arena, so it'll be interesting to see if they try and turn him heel.
Yeah, but you have to accept that, though, you know? Like, just because of the first Collision, you had, like, everyone from Chicago, of course, obviously, they're going to be supporting Punk. They're going to be up their ass. There was a lot of people on that Collision show that were still up Punk's ass. You know, it was really hard because it kind of felt like you had like a chorus of boos that wanted to stay consistent throughout the match whenever Punk was in the ring, and then like you'd get the CM Punk fans only just cheering up and perching up to cheer CM Punk every time they heard the boos. So it was just like, it's going to be like that for a while. I think it's going to be very 50-50, because not everyone's going to be very happy with either the promos that he's been cutting or just sort of his overall actions. I think time will tell whether or not this thing keeps up.
Yeah. And I think the most important thing, as we've spoken about, we know Bullet Club in Japan now have added Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd, Dan Maloney, of course, Clark Connors. Well, Bullet Club Gold have added the Gun Club.
Yeah. Awesome addition, right? Come on, guys. Come on. Yeah, the guns. BC Gold. Right. Nobody. No one cares.
I'm trying to actually on the positive side of this right now, which is really, really hard to do.
They'll start wearing black instead of blue.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that they could do is actually sort of like, you know, play on the fact that they're the Guns, Bullet Club, you know, that sort of thing. They can play on that. However, I don't know what it is, but I think that like the Guns need something to make them like not just the ass boys. I mean, that would help. That would help. But I mean, right now, let's just face it. I think they need to be paired with some veterans and just sort of be the bitch boys of said veterans. Do you know what I mean? So the way that I see it is that they are going to get maybe TV time being aligning themselves with Bullet Club Gold. But more than likely, they're sort of teaming up with them to start taking the pins so that Juice and Jay don't take those pins so regularly. Because right now, that's kind of ever since Jay's been introduced into AEW, both him and Juice have been picking up the L's in this sense. And if they don't want to actually make them look a little bit ridiculous, then they need some fall guys, you know. So the way that I saw this was,
Oh my goodness,
Jay and Juice are smart. They've picked up the guns because they could be the fall guys. So again, that's not very
all guns need bullets, man. All guns need bullets.
I would have picked Luchasaurus because he's big.
Really? He seems to have
and he's a
times for getting
champion.
screwed over by Christian, and that's one man, you know?
I'll have Christian.
It's not much of a club with two guys either.
No.
It's not much of a club with just two guys. Come on, man.
Anyway, we're up to date. We're up to date on Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, New Japan. There's only one thing left, boys and girls, and we all know what that is. It's the most important thing. It is, of course, predictions. But before we do that, let's just look at the tables. Prediction League 2023. We have 3 prediction leagues, if no one doesn't know. So this is before Forbidden Door. WWE Prediction League. Jaxie on 1, Gina and Monty on 2. I'm on the lead with 3. And, of course, we have Money in the Bank next weekend. So that's going to be exciting. Bonus League. Jaxie and Gina both on 11. Monty and James both on 14. So a perfect score. To be fair, if we get a perfect score out of like this 14-match card, I'll give you 2 points. Because how the fuck, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Might be difficult. AEW low, Monty, the man who doesn't watch it, is on 2 at this moment in time. James, Gina, and Jaxie are on 1. But, of course, Forbidden Door, Monty, it is your specialist subject. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. 14 matches.
We have got so many fucking matches to do. Right, let's just go through them then. Let's try and fucking mark them all off. How many we got? 14, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, here we go. So we're going to start off with 0 hour pre-show. We've got El Phantasmo versus Stu Grayson.
Yeah.
Monty, why don't you start us off being a New Japan expert?
Yeah, this match has no reason, no story whatsoever, I believe. I'm very happy El Phantasmo's here. He is from Canada, so it makes sense. It only makes sense that El Phantasmo is fighting on this card. He's fighting Stu Grayson. So it's no story here at all, though. It's nothing. I have nothing to tell you about it other than ELP is from Canada, and he's here. So ELP is who I pick. ELP is who I pick.
Yeah, I'm going to pick ELP. Jackson, what about you?
I honestly didn't even know about this match, to be honest, so I'm just going to go ELP as well. Like, this has just come out of nowhere. I thought I knew all the matches, no.
What? Trust me.
No,
they've so many more. Gina, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go ELP. Yeah. Same. I didn't know about this match. So.
All right, what about this one then? United Empire, TJP, Jeff Cobb and Cole Fletcher versus Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo, and Bushi. Jaxie, why don't you start us off this one?
Wait, sorry. Can you just say say that again?
Bushi, Shingo, and Hiromu Takahashi versus Carl Fletcher, Jeff Cobb, and TJP.
Oh my god! I'm just gonna go United.
This is on Forbidden Door or the pre-show.
Monty, am I making this up?
Final hour? No, she's not making it up. They just added this either after Collision or I don't know. But yes, I promise. This is
pre-show or.
Yes,
or
4
matches
pre-show.
0 hour now.
How many are they having on the pre-show? Because I spent
4 matches. 4 matches for some reason. Yes. Yeah. After that nice condensed card we had on the last AEW pay-per-view, Tony went back up to 14. So there you go.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, yeah. I'm going to go United Empire on this one. This is a complete guess because do you know what? I just found out about it.
Yeah, Gina?
Yeah, I'm going to go United Empire.
Monty?
Same. United Empire. Bushi. I love Bushi, but he's in the match. He loves losing. So I'm going with United Empire.
Well, I'm going to go United Empire then. Fuck it. That'll be a lot easier.
Yeah.
We
Trust
have
me.
got, oh my word. We've got Mogul Embassy, Swerve Strickland, Toa Leona, and Khan versus Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, and El Desperado. Gina, do you wanna-
I don't know why Despy's there. Despy don't like
I'm
this. I don't
getting
know
a
why he's there.
headache. I'm getting a headache. Where did this one come out of? Jesus.
Same.
Do you know what? I'm just gonna go with Swerve and the Mogul guys.
Wait, who are they against? Can you repeat who they're going against?
Trent Barretta, Rocky Romero, and El Desperado.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I'm going Swerve on this one.
Monty, what about you? Monty? Is Monty there?
Oh, my
Swerve.
fault. I was talking on
Swerve
mute. I won with Swerve though. They're right. They're right. I'm going with the embassy. I'm not picking this odd team that I don't know why Despy's there. I don't know why Despy's there.
But it just feels like it's just been like they were like, oh, Trent, you need another person. Do you know what? Let's not give you your best friend, Chuck. We're just going to give you El Desperado over here. You know,
Right.
just
And Despy's teaming with Babyface, while his partner Suzuki is teaming with Jericho. And it was like, you guys don't make any sense. Like, what the hell is this about?
Yeah.
All right, so last one, 0 hour, Athena versus Billy Starks for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. I'll go Athena, Gina.
Yeah, I don't even know who Billy Starks is. I've not seen her before. So for me, I'm going Athena.
Yeah, Jaxie.
Again, same. I'd never even heard of Billy Starks before, so I'm going Athena.
Monty, nice and easy.
I have heard of Billy, but Athena's on an all-time run. So, yes, going with Athena.
We'll start off with I say we start off, we've just had 4 fucking matches, but we got the Owens Hart Men's Foundation, CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. Monty, I know Kojima is an absolute legend, there's no doubt about it. The match was Punk versus Kenta, but with the rumours going around, I mean, the rumours were Kenta basically turned this down. I mean, what are your thoughts on this match for Punk as opposed to any others, and who's your pick?
I think for old school New Japan or just Japanese wrestling fans in general who know anything about Satoshi Kojima, just again one of the greatest, a Triple Crown heavyweight champion. Like I mentioned earlier, he's literally won every heavyweight title that you can even win in Japan. He was just the Noah World Heavyweight Champion in 2022. So even though he's an older guy, you'll see once you see him wrestle, he's in fantastic shape. He is not just some guy that you could just put out the pasture, but I do believe that is the purpose of him being in this match. Someone that you can put out to pasture, and he still can say he beat a legend. He has no purpose really in the cup. He has no reason to be here really, other than the fact that he's filling in a void that was possibly, like you said, left by Kenta. But again, the master of the Lariat is going to put on a great performance. He is a legend for a reason. I love Kojima to death. He's the awesome, awesome man. But, yeah, man, I do not think Punk is going to lose, especially this soon into his return. And, and I think that's why Kojima's here. He's a guy who can lose this match. And, and it doesn't do anything to hurt him because, again, he's just his all-time great. So, yeah, man, I'm going with CM Punk.
Yeah, I'll go Punk as well. Jaxie, what about you?
Yeah, Monty brought up a lot of the same points I would have brought up as well, so I'm going to go with Punk on this one too.
And
yeah, I'm going Punk too.
Cool, and I'll start with you with the next one, which will be Sting, Darby Allin, Naito versus Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki.
So this one was difficult, but do you know what? With the announcement of Naito joining, I can't see him losing, so I'm going with Sting, Darby, and Naito.
Jaxie, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, I got super excited seeing Naito get in the ring with Jericho, and I just can't see Jericho winning against him, so I'm going with Sting, Darby, and Naito.
Yeah, and Monty?
Yeah, man, I'm extremely biased, but definitely going with Low Sting Gubernable of Naito's team. But we will all, but I will, right? Yeah, come on. But I will say this. Also, another reason why I think you should do this is if you haven't noticed, they haven't really said, but there's been a lot of little messy faces between Sammy and Jericho. So, and I think he was kind of showing him up in their tag match they had with Suzuki. So I don't know if that's going to play a factor in this match, but so Sammy and Jericho don't seem like they're on the same page the same way they used to be. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I'm going with Team Sting, Naito, and Allen.
Yeah, they're going to build up Sting and Jericho as well, won't they? Because they've tried to make it a big deal when they faced off and no one cared. But we'll see what happens. AEW Women's Championship, Toni Storm versus Willow Nightingale. Now, Jaxie, I know you've asked in the past about Stardom wrestlers being involved in this card. Apparently, they haven't got visas to work in Canada, and none were booked for this show anyway, which is a bit of a shame.
I also heard that there was there's a Stardom event tonight as well that prevented a lot of the wrestlers being available. So I kind of was like,
early this morning.
Fine, I'll give you guys a break, only because I kind of also think that it was more expected to be Mercedes going into this match, but following her injury, obviously, that wasn't going to be the case. So I think that, again, just like last year, where from the men's side, we had like Kenny injured, we had Bryan Danielson injured, and I swear we had someone else injured. It's kind of like that side, but with the women, we've got a lot of women that are in different promotions tonight or that out via injury. So it's sad, but I still think that Willow Nightingale is going to be a great opponent to go against Toni Storm. If you're asking my opinion on the match, do I see Willow winning this? No, I don't. However, I also don't think that this is going to hurt her too much to take a loss, even though she's the New Japan Strong Champion. There's definitely going to be a lot of involvement from, what do they call themselves? I forgot. The Outcasts, that's it. I was going to call them losers. The Outcasts. It's because they do the L. It's because they do the L, not because I actually think they're losers. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of idiocy involved in this match that could probably cause distraction for Willow, but she's a great babyface, and she's still building up her momentum within the Western audience. So I'm excited to see this, because I actually just think it's going to be two women in a great match. I don't think it's going to be like a match of the decades or a match of the year candidate, but I just think it will be a decent match between both women.
Monty, what about you? Who are you going for this one?
It's funny that you mentioned Stardom and all of that, because both of these women, Toni spent a long time in Stardom, and I'm not sure if Willow's ever really fought officially for Stardom. She could have, but I don't quite remember. But I know her style fits Stardom perfectly, so it's very, very funny that you mentioned that. I think, like you said, if they're given a good amount of time with 14 matches, I don't know, we'll see. But if they're given a good time, I think they'll be really, really good. Maybe Saraya or something like that will probably be the difference. Because I'm sure Sky Blue is probably going to be in Willow's corner. I guess at least that would at least make the most sense. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going with Toni Storm winning, though.
She could be in her corner, but Monty, do we really think that Sky can take on?
It doesn't matter, right? She's going to be outnumbered, right? She's going to be outnumbered, and that's why I'm saying Toni is going to win.
I think what I find interesting about this, though, and understand how we've all picked Toni, and Gina asked you this, your pick. If it was Mercedes in this matchup, I think I'd be plumping for Monet in this one.
Oh, I totally would be going with my girl Monet if she was in this match.
I don't even think Toni would be here, though. Like, it would, if everything was perfect, Jamie would be the person. So then it's like, would it be Hayter versus Mercedes? Who the hell you picking up?
That would have been the greatest match ever.
Such a peak match.
Because I'm sure that's the original plan. Hayter and Mercedes has to be the original plan.
Tony Khan, if you do not give us this match somewhere down the line, I will riot. I swear I want to see Jamie versus Mercedes. That would be a match for us.
I would definitely throw my money at that. But no, I've gone with Toni as well to win this one. I love Willow, and I actually think that a clean one-on-one match, I actually possibly would have gone for Willow to win, but not with I was going to call them the Radicals. You can tell I've been watching Raw is War too long.
Radicals will be the outcast.
Dean Malenko.
Yeah, with Dean Malenko and co getting involved, I don't see that happening, sadly.
Don't mention the other guy radicals. Anyway, so yeah, we move on, and we speaking about Jaxie just mentioned it. Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, and the most shocking injury I think last year at Forbidden Door was of course Adam Cole getting injured in the four-way matchup, and
just thinking of, I missed him out.
yeah, well, the big thank God for that. Otherwise, wouldn't have had a segue into this one. But like I said, the big payoff is a match against Tom Lawyer. So, Monty, who's going to win?
Oh, come on, man. Adam Cole ain't losing this match. He's not losing it. I don't really got to go that far about the victory. But, man, I think, again, 14 matches. So, if given time, Lawler is going to really show everyone what he can do. He may be a filthy man, but that man can wrestle. But, yeah, Adam Cole is going to win.
Yeah, I think so. Jaxie?
Yeah, I've gone Adam Cole on this one. Again, I know that Tom Lawler is a great wrestler. I've seen him in the G1. But, I don't see Adam Cole losing this one.
No, Gina?
Yeah, I've gone Adam Cole too.
Yeah. I'll start with you with our next one, which will be Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shibata versus Daniel Garcia.
No, do Monty next on this match.
No, I will. The AEW title is on the line. So that is the only championship on the line. So who you go for?
This is really difficult because I'm oohing and ahhing because I genuinely think that OC's time with this belt has come to an end. But they've not also put a lot of backstory into this upcoming match at Forbidden Door. So it's like, is he actually going to lose it here? And then who to? My guess would be actually Daniel Garcia, just because he is on AEW regular. If he's going to hold the belt, then it would be more ideal to put it on him. So I'm oohing and ahhing as to whether OC is going to retain it again or Daniel Garcia is going to take it. And if I go with my wants, I would say Daniel Garcia to take it.
So what you're saying?
So I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go DG.
We're going to go across to Jaxie. Who are you going to go for?
Oh damn! Why have you got to go with me next?
Because I don't want everybody copying Monty. That's
This one is really difficult because, again, I think I'm a little bit conflicted. Like, I think I agree with what my sister said. Garcia's the more obvious choice. He's the only non-champion going into this match. However, with the current run Orange Cassidy's been on, are they gonna have things change hands here? Or are they going to keep the belt on Orange Cassidy and have him continue to keep doing what he's doing? Thing is, okay, again, I'm doing these live, all these choices, because I haven't had the time to sort of think about answers and stuff, which is why you're hearing my outer monologue already. I feel like with Orange Cassidy lately, we've seen that he has been banged up a lot, that he's had quite a few injuries that he has, managed to work through and stuff like that. But I'm wondering whether or not they change belts for a little while now. He's had a good run with it. And someone as young and sort of prominent right now, like Daniel Garcia, probably would be a good, obvious choice. So I think I'm going to make a gamble here and also go with Daniel Garcia. But this could be a big mistake, but I'm going to go with it.
Monty?
Yeah, man. I understand that Orange Cassidy run. Again, he's been on an all-time run, but it's really, really hard for me to doubt him at this point. I would like to see something fresh happen. Maybe you can see Zach doing it, but Zach literally in like a 10 or 11 defense run right now for his TV title. I don't think we're stopping that, so he can just show up on AEW every now and then maybe and defend the international title. Like you said, the only person that's probably going to be available and able to do what they've been doing with Orange Cassidy would be someone like Garcia. But again, with no build, I really would be opposed to that decision. The only reason you even got for doing this is just because you just want a title to change tonight. And if that's the case, then, hey, so be it. I'm sticking with Orange Cassidy retaining. It's going to be a shock, most likely, or probably not a shock, but it's going to probably be some type of crazy finish where, Shibata and Zach end up out of the way. And I think Garcia is probably going to be the one to get pinned. But, hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going Orange Cassidy retaining.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go Orange Cassidy as well. The match I was struggling most was actually the next one, which is Hangman Page, Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Moxley,
Yeah,
Claudio,
me too.
Yuta, Umino, and Takeshita. This is the one I'm going. I'm not sure, but and again, I don't want to sway anybody else's vote, but I'll just say the reason why I've done it. I'm going to go for the BCC, just because, as we mentioned on Dynamite, they did lose to the Bucks and Page a couple of weeks ago, and I think Shooter in this matchup with Takeshita kind of needs the kind of victorious moment, to be fair. So I am going to go the heels, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened the other way. Jaxie, what about you?
Okay, this was the other match that I really have struggled with. And I think, James, like, you're right. Like, BCC have been on such a, run lately. It's been really difficult to actually figure out whether or not, they're on such a winning streak right now. It's really hard to wonder whether or not they're going to actually lose here or not. I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance and say that maybe the Elite might come out on top with this one, but I feel like this is very 50-50 with this match.
Yeah, it's one I was struggling with. Gina, what about you?
Oh, this is the only one I haven't really given an answer for in my list because it's the most difficult one. I feel like the BCC need to get the win here, but my gut is telling me that the Elite are going to get the win. So I'm going to go with the Elite.
And Monty?
Yeah, honestly, it's really one of these things where I just kind of did, like you said, it's really tough. So it's just really one of those things where I was like, who do I think can afford the loss more? And if you look at everyone on the Elite team, I feel like they will be. Like, Hangman is untouchable. He's a former champion. We know what he's done. The Bucks also lose here. Who cares? Even Tomohiro Ishii, he's very, very accomplished. The only person I would hate to see lose another big time situation is probably Eddie or whatever. But I've even flirted with the idea of Eddie turning on the Elite because he don't really like them either and helping the club out. I don't know, but he hates Claudio so much that might not happen too. So it's really, really a tough bet. But I'm going with the Blackpool Combat Club. I think that, like you said, James, Shota. I really don't see Shota Umino losing in this spot. Same thing with Takeshita. With everything they're trying to put on Takeshita, it seemed like the smartest decision would be to give them another spotlight, another chance to win in this situation. But hey, we'll see.
Well, this is an interesting thing about it, because like I said, we're not sure what's going to happen. I'm just trying to look and trying to think if what block kind of Eddie Kingston's in, if you know what I mean, to see if there's anything that could have maybe.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean? Set up maybe a match between that. I mean, not really, not really anything there. So yeah, I think I'll be happy with Blackpool Combat Club.
No.
Right, up next it is the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, Sanada versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I mean, I will ask everybody, but do we really think Sanada will lose here? I'm not sure. Monty, we'll start with you.
Yeah, no way in hell. Sanada's on the run of his life. It's great. I think the reason why Jungle Boy is here is because he's a guy who he's a pillar. He's established. Even if he, don't win this, nothing was gonna be negative in my opinion on him. I don't think this is gonna kill him at all. And Sanada needing a world championship opponent, I think this is just this be a really, really good match. But I'm definitely going with just Five Guys leader Sanada.
Yeah, Gina, what about you?
This is Sanada versus who?
Exactly. Jack Perry.
Sorry, I knew that, and for some reason I still went blank on who Sanada was facing. Yeah, I'm going straight for Sanada with this one.
Yeah, I think we're all Sanada there. Jaxie?
Yeah, you got that right, Sanada.
Right, Sanada. So I'll start with you then, Jaxie, with the next one, the AEW World Championship. MJF versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Why do you hate Tanahashi so much?
Listen, right? Don't twist my words here, James. I don't hate Tanahashi. Okay, I think that clearly because if I am quite new to New Japan, I have not seen Tanahashi's body of work, and I'm not trying to discondone what he's done, but I also do feel like he is a man past his prime and does not know it. He just kind of comes across as this sort of I still got it thing, which he does. He's definitely got the moves. He's definitely got the, he works well with people in the ring still, that sort of thing. However, I just don't think he's the best. I actually think that there are quite a few other wrestlers that I've seen in New Japan that I think are much more exhilarating than him. That is my own personal opinion. It's not meant to offend anyone. However, I have issue with this match because you challenged John Moxley this time last year for the AEW match and lost. What gives you any right to actually re-challenge for the belt again? Like, nothing. I'm sorry, but I actually would have been more excited at seeing Sanada versus MJF. And I know they wouldn't want to do this because they'd want to protect both of them. So I get it and I understand it. But what I'm saying is the caliber of the match, I would have been more excited at seeing Sanada versus MJF. Tanahashi versus MJF. I'm really sorry, but it's not something that gets me excited. Yeah, so I don't see MJF losing this. He's definitely going to probably use some cheating tactics to sort of protect Tanahashi.
No problem.
But, I mean, Tanahashi doesn't deserve this title opportunity, in my opinion, so I'm not really looking forward to this match, and I'm kind of glad if it's not the main event, because if it would be one of those ones that I'd be like, if I'm tired, I'll just watch the main event tomorrow type of thing, you know, like it's not one that actually grips me to my seat saying, no, I have to stay up to be able to watch this. So this to me is kind of a blur pairing.
Well, on Collision, MJF said that he wants this match to go on first because he don't want to stay around, and he basically buried Tanahashi, like didn't even kind of give him anything, which I don't like, because if you do beat him, you've beaten nothing then, and it doesn't add to anything, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I don't really understand for this pairing.
Well, Monty, is there anything you can say to defend Tanahashi's honour? Because I mean, it was meant to be Tanahashi
Literally.
and Punk last year. Was another one that missed the show.
Yeah. A dream match. Tanahashi is John Cena in New Japan. He's literally the savior of that company. So that would have been a dream match of eras with CM Punk and Tanahashi. That's why that was the initial thing. But you go with Moxley because he was the champion, and again, I think they had a fantastic match. The thing is about this match with Max is honestly, I really love the fact that the people in Canada show really good respect to Tanahashi. They love him, and that's all Tanahashi is gonna need. As long as he got the crowd there in his hands, watch him and Max put on something special, especially because Max is really good at being a heel. And Tanahashi is the ultimate babyface. He's literally been that his entire career. His comeback is legendary. That's just what he does. He was the man before Okada ever showed up his face. He beat Okada numerous times. You're right. Post 2016, maybe even post 2018, because honestly, he was still Intercontinental champion and stuff back then. So Tanahashi, he's honestly, you're right. He's nowhere near that guy he was in the mid 2000s up to 2015, 2016, even like I said, 2018. But he is the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that just doesn't go anywhere. And it's just one thing about Japan that is different than any other promotion. Their legends and the people who set the table for them mean more than anything. So this is more, not only is it somebody who's untouchable, so his loss will not affect it anyway, unlike a Sonata who's still establishing himself as a world champion. You don't want either guy there to lose, Max or Sonata. So unfortunately, you're going to get something like this. And I get every point you made, but unfortunately, it does not reign true to any true New Japan fan because of everything Tanahashi did. He single-handedly saved that company. It was no one else, just him and maybe Shinsuke Nakamura. And honestly, besides that, really, it was just the Ace, because the Ace was the one on top in all of those, big shows back in the mid-2000s that literally saved New Japan. So he literally doesn't have to do anything to deserve a title shot. whether you like it or not, he's gonna always be able to just be the ace and be able to be placed in these spots. And I promise you, you may think that you may not be into this match, but if they're given time and Matt does what I know he can do, be an awesome heel, attack Tanahashi's knees, do stuff like that, be that scumbag that he is, Tanahashi's gonna play off him perfectly, and you will be surprised at how good this match is. I'm definitely going with Matt winning though. I'm not crazy, but Tanahashi is a legend and he's deserving of any spot they give him.
I think Monty has like a really good point of like, you know, kind of listening to my comparison to Monty's. Monty being a veteran of New Japan knows the amount of respect that Tanahashi should command, you know. It's unfortunate that I haven't actually done enough background work on him to really kind of understand why he is this beloved ace of New Japan, and I'm not trying to disrespect him or his work in any way. So I hope that
it's not your fault. It's AEW's fault for not building this matchup. You know, to have a
right.
way,
AEW is not promoting him that way either. Exactly.
I do think it's come out. It's one of those again that we had mentioned before about just being thrown in your face, like sort of a promo here and then it's set.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't really lend itself to why this is happening for those.
Max has been more busy with Adam. Max has been more busy with Adam. Like, you don't even know he's feuding with Tanahashi or anything that he even cares.
I mean,
he didn't know he was feuding with Tom Lawler, but now he is too. So I think it's just been a bit messy with some of these build-ups to some of these matches, which leads you to then not be as excited for the match. But like Monty said, this match could actually be one of the best. We never know. So it is one of those ones I wouldn't skip it, of course. But it's one of those ones that I'll probably approach hesitantly to see how things go.
Well, what's crazy about Tanahashi is that if you look at certain things, in November of 2002, he was stabbed in the back by a Tommy Hara, who was a news reporter. They had dated one another, met in a Tokyo apartment.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to break off a relationship as he started dating another woman, which led to stabbing him twice. She later confessed she tried to kill Tanahashi and planned to commit suicide. She was charged with attempted murder and sentenced to 4 years on probation. Tanahashi then came back and became the ace of New Japan, even after that. So...
Yeah.
Anyway, Gina.
And still never been married.
Anyway, Gina, never been married.
I don't blame
Single. Who you going for? Who you going for this one, Gina? MJF, Tanahashi. Do not go Tanahashi. It will piss off Jaxie.
Wow. all of that was just like, you know, information overload here. I mean, I don't have an actual opinion of Tanahashi because I don't know him well enough. I do find that if I watch him in some New Japan matches, I'm kind of like rooting for the other team, but that's probably because I know the other team members a lot more. But Tanahashi does make me laugh a lot, and like I think I saw like a promo of him just struggling even to pronounce MJF's name, and it's just letters. And I think you've got like maybe someone trying to help translate, like trying to explain the letters of MJF like for him. It was just hilarious. It took him like 5 tries just to say those 3 letters, so that was brilliant. I have gone.
So he'll learn it after he wins, by the way.
Yeah, that's nice touch. So you've gone
exactly.
So Gina,
I've got MJF to win, and I think he's going to beat the letters into his head and be like, "That's how you say my name."
All right. So Gina, you got a tough one now because you're going to tell me who's going to win out of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay.
Oh my god, I hate you. I actually hate you. Do you know what? This is really difficult for me to call. I've not followed New Japan weekly enough to know the momentum that like Will Ospreay is at once he's been brought into this. But for me personally, from what I've seen between Kenny and Will, I feel like Will needs to get this win, so I'm going with him, even though it'll break my heart.
Jaxie, what about you?
Yeah, I've got Will on this one. I'm going with Will to get retribution and to get his title back. Also, I've got a really good question. Probably Monty or yourself can answer this more than me, but has Kenny actually defended the belt at all? Because I kind of forgot he was IWGP champion, and I kind of haven't heard of any defenses since he won it. So, like, has he even defended it?
Jeff Cobb, wasn't it?
He fought Jeff Cobb
Yeah.
on like a dynamite or
Yeah.
whatever, I think, one time. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Okay, so I'm going Will on this one.
Yeah, no, the thing is, last year, I'm going for this really selfish way, because if Will can win and tie it 1 each, then they can have the rubber match at Wembley, and then I'll be happy. And then I can watch Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega in person. So I'm going to go Will. What about you?
Honestly, it's just like you said. I was of two minds about this. Like, if they're still tired of booking the U.S. title in Japan, then Kenny may retain and will some type of redemption. But honestly, you guys said it. Will actually really needs this, and it'll just be really nice and poetic. I know Kenny's second home or whatever is like Japan, or kind of could be his actual home is Japan, and he beat Will Ospreay there. But Ospreay get a chance to return that favor and beat Kenny in Canada. I think that's one part of this. And then also, you mentioned it earlier, James. Kenny has too many enemies right now. There's just too much going on. I'm not saying we'll see Takeshita here. Who knows? We may do. We may not. We may see Don Callis, something. Who knows what's going to happen? But he just has too much going on. I think Ospreay only has one focus right now, and that's getting revenge. That means Ospreay, in my opinion, will retain it. And honestly, we need that belt. I mean, like, not that New Japan is lacking for belts, obviously, but they just, like, New Japan, that belt, like you said, it's just been off the radar. It hasn't existed. Like, when they booked that belt, when they booked him of that belt, I was really, really hoping that AEW would do more. Even if he's just defending against AEW guys and we know Kenny will win it would be more, it would have been at least showed us a purpose behind him having that belt other than, we're going to get that Will Ospreay rematch at some point. But we got here. I'm happy that we're getting it. I'm not mad at that at all. But I think Ospreay is definitely getting his belt back, and it'll be returned to its proper space in Japan, being defended on their cards going forward.
Yeah. Well, we got one more match left to do, but I just want to say, for me, I'm disappointed because there was 9 of the tag team champions on this card. An FTR versus Bishman match would have been a banger to put here.
Right.
I don't know why when they added 8
especially
matches
against
to
the random
hour.
stuff we have.
Yeah, just what?
And also, let's not forget, like, the trios tag team that championship has just kind of been forgotten about as well.
Yep.
I mean, I really loved to have seen. Don't get me wrong, we've actually had some great matches, singles matches for Buddy and Brody, both against Andrade on Collision, but we've not seen them as a team in God knows how long. I don't know what's going on here, but, like, these guys are hot, so why are we not using them at Forbidden Door and seeing them in a trios match? I'm confused.
Not even like a 5-man tag
I'm
team
really
match,
mad they missed the opportunity of House of Torture versus House of
Yeah.
Black. I know no one wants to see House of Torture because they're assholes and they're just gonna screw the House of Black. But that would at least be something for them to do.
Oh my gosh, imagine seeing both Evil and Malachi Black in the same ring. That would have been so awesome to see. And then having, like, is it Show from House of Torture?
Yeah, Show.
Go against Buddy Matthews. Oh, that would actually be or Murphy, sorry. Yeah, that would have been
Unfortunately, Brody King would have just killed everyone.
Yeah, that is such a missed opportunity right there.
Yeah.
Right, so the final match up then is the dream match. And again, dream matches can be used for certain types of matches, but this is definitely a dream match in everybody's eyes. The greatest wrestler in America the past 15 or 20 years versus the greatest wrestler in Japan for the same amount of time. Bryan Danielson, Kazuchika Okada. It doesn't get any bigger or more. And Jaxie, you're going to start us off. Who is going to win this epic event?
I mean, seriously, I don't think that you can get more anticipated than this match. It's so exciting. I got to go Okada on this one. I know that technically we're seeing 2 heels facing off against each other, but I do think that Okada's got all the momentum to take this one. It's just going to be an awesome match. Either the outcome, Bryan Danielson or Okada, I don't think I'm even going to care if I lose that point. because this match is just going to be awesome either way. But I am going with Okada on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be something that we're not. I can't even imagine like Okada caught in a LeBell lock. Like I can't. When we get to that stage later on in the matchup, it's going to be incredible. Gina, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, at this moment in time, brilliant as I think Bryan Danielson is, I think he's helping to put people over, and I think Okada is one of the people he would love to put over. So I've gone with Okada for the win.
And Monty, not only the result of this, but is this the biggest match they could give us? Because I can't really think of a match where you think of that two wrestlers, as good as they are, facing off. Maybe not in their prime, arguably, but you know, I think this is the biggest match possible for Forbidden Door.
Yeah, man. It's really, I mean, it's hard to argue that it's not, especially like of a dream variety that we haven't seen before. Like, yeah, Omega and Okada, I think anytime anybody decides to just book them to fight against each other again, if they ever decide to ever fight each other again, that's going to always, put eyes on it because of just their history. But honestly, Danielson, like you said, all he's done for so long, the longevity and just how long he's been known as one of the best technical and just great wrestlers of the world. It really, I don't think this could be a bigger match than this. That at least when I'm looking at the rosters, as presently constructed, at least the way I'm thinking about it, and honestly, it's just like you said, it's the definition of a dream match. Okada, by the way, said he didn't really watch Bryan Danielson in WWE much, but he knew of him, of course, as American Dragon in Ring of Honor. And he also, when he really became an even bigger fan of Bryan Danielson, and when he fought Kenny Omega to a time limit draw. So I was thinking, I'm like, did he say that on purpose? Like, could we possibly get something like that, another time limit draw? But I don't know, especially if it go on last. I doubt that, even though it probably could just be that type of spectacle again, because that was really special. What Danielson and Omega did, but I'm going with Okada coming out the victor. Okada's only lost one time I've ever seen abroad, and that was against Jay White, Madison Square Garden. That was a Ring of Honor joint type of event, and I remember him putting over Jay White in that situation. Oh no! Matter of fact, I don't even think he lost that match. And now that I think about it, I think he won that match. So I could be completely wrong, and he won it.
Yeah,
he just main evented with Jay White.
Full of shit, man.
Yeah, I'm confused. He beat the hell out of Jay White.
Yeah,
anyway, the point is, he has never lost a broad. So that makes my point even better. He has never lost a broad. So again, do you really think, as much as I love Danielson at this stage of his career, do you think Danielson is going to be the one to pin Okada when he's never lost outside of Japan? Yeah, I doubt that. But hey, it'll be a fantastic ride getting there, and I'm damn sure Danielson is going to make us believe he can, because that's just how he does it. I'm going with Okada, though.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we're all going to Okada, but I think I'm going to split this card up, because I don't want to get to a point where it gets to Okada and Danielson, I just can't be bothered because I've watched too much so far.
No, definitely. Yeah. That's my advice. Please split it up. I'm not doing it either. I have tonight. I got time before the show, and I'm not watching all of this tonight. I know I'm not. So I agree.
So like I said, good luck everybody with the predictions, and of course with the Forbidden Door, which is going to be about 5 hours long, and that's not with 0 hour. But that is it. I think that is pretty good enough build up. I think we can build it up more than we have built it up. So that is it. Unless, there's nothing else to be said, is there? I think so. No. Excellent.
Nope.
So that is it. Don't forget, across all media, Twitter at the WNR Podcast, I'm at the WNR JR. You can find the entire team on the Twitter banner. Monty, where can people find and listen to you?
At Monty Pod on Twitter, or you could go to my link in my bio, click the YouTube button, and you will be on my YouTube. You can subscribe there, or type in Monty on YouTube. This week, I will be putting out my own version of a Best of a Super Junior update and a kind of a Forbidden Door review. We're going to wrap it all up in one package. That is the goal, to have that out this week. I hopefully will be making my return to podcasting. If that changes, you guys will know. But, yeah, it's going to definitely be post-Forbidden Door. I got to give myself time to watch it and see all of this mess. Again, 14 matches. I was very shocked, too, when I saw that, but let's just keep pushing through it and let's hope it's a fantastic show.
Yeah, without doubt. Jaxie, where can people find you?
I'm on both Instagram and Twitter at Jaxie Scarlett.
Perfect. And Gina?
You can find me on both at Purple Pain.
Double O also on Facebook and Instagram, across all Google platforms. The Double O Podcast at gmail.com. YouTube Double O Podcast for all the latest clips. Podcasts at the same time on YouTube. Do SoundCloud on your phone, also Spotify and iTunes, where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Our next episode will be the Forbidden Door review. I don't know what day works better, Tuesday or Wednesday. I mean, should we discuss it really live on the pod or wait till afterwards? We'll wait till afterwards.
Let me check my schedule and I'll come back to you.
Yeah. Wait.
Well, until then, I've been James Rowlands and I was joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. Thank you for joining me, Jaxie. Hope you enjoyed it.
It's been great. Just good luck tonight, James. I think we're still at war, so we'll see how we get on.
And the mind of Monty. Monty, thank you so much for getting us through that first hour.
No problem. Anytime. And yeah, man, can't wait. Forbidden Door season, my time of year.
Yeah, and of course the genius of Gina. Gina, you got to be feeling more confident now, surely.
I mean, a little bit more, yeah, sure. I'll say yeah. But either way, good luck for tonight, gang.
Yeah, I'm going to replay this clip if it goes wrong. All right? That will be the clip replay.
Screw you, James. Screw you.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. As you can tell, I'm well liked with the group, as I am with the public, and we'll bring a Forbidden Door review soon. Bye. Boom.
A match with Black Council. They've already canceled Adam Cole.
Jesus.
They said due to it.